I see that the one needs one last lesson.
We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little.
The world he created exists for itself.
And so, my fellow nerds, ask not what your fandom can do for you, ask what you can do for your fandom.
Leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight? Glad to see you. Welcome to a Thursday stream. I know it's kind of odd. I don't usually stream on Thursdays, but I thought it'd be fun tonight if we could grab a couple people from around the content creator universe, get them together, talk about, well, Star Wars, but essentially what it's like to be a Star Wars content creator, things we're excited for in 2023. We're kind of rounding off the end of the year, so I think it'd be interesting to look back, look forward, talk about it a little bit. I sent the invitation far and wide. We're going to be going for a hot minute tonight, so we're just going to see who shows up, who decides they want to be in this absolute mess. Right now, it's somebody who's been on my channel many.
I had to get it out early.
Jesus Christ. Starting off strong. Everybody, the Star Wars obsession is here. Say what's up to the kids. How you doing?
What's up, kids?
Welcome to the stream. It's been a hot minute since we've been able to sit down and actually and talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's been a little while since we've streamed on your channel.
You look like a hooligan, man. Like you got the shadow is like covering your eyes.
We're going we're going angry. We're going angry tonight. We're here, so we're gonna be angry.
Oh, okay.
Salty. Let's throw some salt on it. Come on, everything tastes better with salt.
You know, it doesn't always have to be negative. I'm a fence sitter, right? I go to either side. I can be on the happy side. I can be on the unhappy side. For the most part lately, I've been on the unhappy side.
I saw some videos on the scale of fence sitting and all that. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny stuff.
look, here's the deal. They haven't given me a whole lot to be happy about. You know, Andor came out, and I was happy with Andor, right? And then I made a video saying, what's the true legacy of Andor? And then somebody commented on it, and they're like, hey, by the way, you fucking suck. You're terrible. I hate you. I don't know why I'm subscribed to your channel. It might have been one of your alt accounts or something.
No, you know my alt accounts. There's only 7 or 8 of them, so you should know all of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Showroom Sabers for $1.99. Much love and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, buddy. Showroom was on the stream the other day. Appreciate you coming on and dealing with me for a night of debauchery. I really appreciate it. Scott Westbrook, how many times are you going to be a new member? Did you upgrade your membership? I'm trying to remember. I don't know, but I appreciate you.
Sometimes YouTube cancels it, and then you got to get it back in, you know? So YouTube.
Yeah, that does happen from time to time. Just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. And if I could find the video, there it is.
Thank you.
Be responsible. Do not donate to this channel. A youngling dies every single time you do. What's going on to the chat? Wanted to say what's up to everybody. How's everybody doing? My gosh, I missed a lot of stuff here. John Graber is here. Good to see you. Darth Wizzy Wizard was waiting. I appreciate you. The infamous drunk 3PO is here. I know he's traveling and hanging out with his mom right now, so he's not allowed to come on the internet because he's talking with his mom. Maria, obviously, one of my good friends. We got a cool thing we're going to be talking about here, hopefully fairly soon, towards the beginning of the year. Nikki, per the usual, throwing F-bombs the second she gets into chat. Love you very much. Resolute Rebellion is here. Nipsey said, sick invite, bro. We'll get on here. I'll send you an invite. Leia Rose is here. Ronnie's here. Oh, Ladage is here, the most handsome man in Star Wars. T. Davidson, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Philip Hawkins is here. Hello. And Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars. Always straight to the point. Really appreciate it. Dennis D is here. Hello. How you doing? Dennis Ghost Rider is here. Good to see you. Who am I missing? I think I got to almost everybody here. Scott Westbrook, obviously. Cody Eichholtz is here. Good to see you, buddy. We're scrolling. Tevin Daniels and Ben 10 Stop Motion Studio Production and OG saying sexy beasts. Wow. They haven't seen us banter for a while, dude. I think people miss our banter.
Okay. Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I mean, we're like the friends that just hate each other.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that. That's
not
awful.
hate each other, but like we couldn't agree on a fucking how much to toast a piece of toast. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't eat toast, so fuck toast.
How are you gonna come in here and say something like that?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. You know, everybody's been doing their thing the back half of the year. Everybody got out from the COVID hustle, and everybody's like, I'm free, freedom, right? And everybody went on and did their stuff, and everybody's
miss the energy. I'll tell you that much. Definitely bring the energy. I
bring heat. Like I said,
your wife just hated every time you're like, I'm going on an X-Wings. What do you do? Like, oh, okay, I'll put my earbuds in.
No, I'm going to Tarjay. I'll see you later. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, I like to have fun. I like to get down. This is fun time. This isn't money making time. Everybody else is looking to make money. I'm not.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I know my channel's not making money. I really appreciate it. That's not why we did it, though.
You're monetized. You know I mean? You got 2,500. You're working your way up to that 10,000. Come on, don't give me no shit.
I got I got 45 cents on my last video.
I'm losing money. I'm losing money on here. Like, let's be real. Come on. If time is money, I'm losing money, but that's okay. Like I said, this isn't for money. This is for funsies.
Well, there you go. Star Wars Obsession, everybody. If you're new to the channel and you haven't met Star Wars Obsession, he and I have been bantering back and forth about this franchise for a very long time. Very long time.
Yeah. We've stayed up late. We've got up early.
Do you remember when we did the first Visions watch party, and we stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you and I were cussing everything under the sun?
It was magical.
I know there's a really specific word for it, and I don't feel like that was the word that we used.
It was magical. What do you know what we're talking about? It was magical. There was good. There was bad. There was ugly. And that's just you and me. So, you know, the show was entertaining, if nothing else. I mean, we got some good stories. We got a book out of it. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been
a Star Wars Visions book.
Yeah, the Ronin book.
Oh, that's right. I didn't read that. Did you read that?
I'll send you a copy. I got an extra one.
Hey, you don't have to.
It's okay.
You know what I got in the mail today was the Black Star Wars Archives book.
Mm.
One of my groomsmen sent it to me. It's like the $200 book that's like this freaking big. I'm so excited to dig into that thing. There's so much good stuff about George, so much good stuff about Star Wars, and I'm embarking on a new project. So have you seen?
I saw this. I saw what you were posting.
Yeah. So if you've seen the Tantive playset that Hasbro came out with, it's the hallway. Have you seen it?
Which one? I'm sorry.
Have you heard of this? It's the Tantive hallway. So the hallway from the Tantive, and that first scene when the stormtroopers bust in.
Yep.
So I'm doing a whole model build with the stormtroopers busting in, and then there's going to be the rebel guys on the other side, and then I'm going to wire in the LED.
What
the
size
lights,
are you
so
talking about?
It's 3 3/4, 3.75s.
Okay, that's cool. That should be fun.
So it's going to look really good. I'm really excited. I'm going to do a lot of live streams doing
That's
that
good.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. Get your table set up. I know that room behind you looks pretty, but I know what's really going on around that background. A shitstorm.
Yeah, there's too much stuff.
It's like a parts hurricane and toy hurricane went through your place. So yeah, man. Clean up your deskies and have fun burning yourself with some solder. It's always a good time to hear people curse on stream. And
that's all I did was like professionally weld copper pipes for like 12 years. So I don't think I'm gonna burn my fingers.
You don't have fingertips anyway.
Shenru Sabers for another $1.99 says obsession worst Fortniter ever. Much respect, bro.
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty awful. I can say
respect, bro. It looks like Toys R Us shit on his walls.
Yeah, I mean, boy, that's a old man reference though. I don't even think they have any more of those.
Toys R Us is not a thing anymore.
I think they're like Blockbuster Video. They got one store in the whole world and it's just for nostalgia.
Didn't they I thought they reopened. Like a couple Toys R Us's reopened or something.
That's what I thought,
was like
too.
Kmart and Twinkies. Like we thought it was gone and then all of a sudden they come back out of nowhere.
That was it, dude. That was a hostess. That was a moment. That was a very, very weird moment.
It made it into movies. Like I remember they were talking about the last Twinkie on Earth and Zombieland and all that different kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. It's good stuff, dude.
Why don't you come on and defend yourself? Talking shit about my collection.
Sometimes they do that kind of stuff, like, oh, we're on our way out, and somebody's like, no, you're not, and they like rescue them. So that's cool. Yeah, that's a Mike Shill Porter.
Big up to Mike Stan, the Shill Porter. Good to see you here, buddy. Always appreciate it.
Dad jokes.
He does the worst dad jokes, but I really appreciate it. I haven't caught a Santa stream in a hot minute, but I always love it when Mike shows up because you know something just cringy's right around the corner.
Yeah, always.
I adore the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's a good time for sure.
So I had a question I wanted to pose to not only you, but I wanted to pose to the rest of the chat. There are a lot of Star Wars fans who are kind of feeling like, bruh, the magic's gone. I'm not feeling the magic of Star Wars anymore. I want the magic back. How do I get that nice, like, that hit of Star Wars magic that I want? A lot of people are saying, dude, it's got to be on the big screen. You got to put a movie out.
Well, I mean, look, walking around in general and talking to the muggles out there and hearing what they have to say. I mean, these are different stories that are being told between what we expect and what they expect and what the larger collective body. We are the few, right? We are the minority as far as fandom goes. We may know more, we may geek out more, but to most people, that was not the feel. I'm just walking around talking to people.
Most Star Wars fans,
most
big screen was not the feel.
No, the Star Wars.
Think about that before you make sure that you say what you're saying here.
Saying about like the latest shows, Andor, Kenobi, Boba, all of these shows, talking to the people that are subscribing to Disney Plus or Hulu because they're the same company now.
Yeah. I think they own McDonald's at this point. I'm not sure Disney doesn't own anything.
The mouse owns everything. But listening to people even at work and then talking to people that during holiday parties, because all I wear is this stupid shit that we make. They're really into it and they really want to talk about it. People were telling me, you know, this specifically Andor, because it's the newest thing. What they were telling me how much they liked it. You know, these are people that I've never met. These are people that don't know what I do here or anywhere. And a lot of people were very interested. I think putting it on Hulu was a stroke of genius for Disney, right? You're using a platform you already own. It cost you no money to move it over there to get it to a broader audience that may not have Disney Plus, to lure them in for potentially the next season.
So if you own Hulu already, why not just put all your stuff on Hulu?
Well, you're trying to build that Disney Plus brand first, right? That's the thing they're trying to get up there. They bought Hulu that already had the viewership, right? So now they have Disney Plus. That's the primary objective right now. That's why they're not making movies, right? That's why everything is TV shows right now.
That's what I'm saying, though. I feel like it's a terrible, terrible idea. It reminds me of Steve Buscemi when he walks up with a skateboard and he's like, "Hey, kids, I'm also hip too." They all think that, you know, streaming is the only way that you're going to make money. And I feel like that really what Star Wars needs is a big blockbuster movie to get the hype going back again, because you're not going to draw in fat crowds on a Disney Plus show. It's the bottom line. Like, you're just not going to. They ran that train with Mando. Streaming is on its way out the door, or is already taking a backseat anyway, right? You see it with these larger platforms like Spotify, you know, here, other Twitch, these other services where they put on somebody like Rogan, right? For instance, and he entertains people for 2 hours every day, right? Other shows have to compete with stuff like that people are flocking to every day to watch. So they're not watching talk shows on any of this shit anymore. Yeah, but that's the exception, not the rule, right? I mean, it's freaking Joe Rogan. I mean, there's a lot of those bigger podcasts we may not be into because we're just not into it. But if there's a Star Wars podcast, I've never listened to a podcast on Spotify. Once. I've listened to a couple. They're fun, especially when you're on the road. You're not on the road as much anymore, also. So throw one in if you listen to podcasts on Spotify. Or any other platform, really. I mean, iTunes, you know. Yeah, anything. I mean, this is a microcosm here, and I feel like we're potentially a little biased in the people that are going to be watching the stream, but interested. To boomerang back to what we were talking about, I feel like that's also, we are in the macro because we spend so much time zoomed in on all this stuff, looking at it close with each other, that we forget that the muggles are out there loving this shit because it's new to them, right? It's to us, we're like, oh, pew pew, there's no this, there's no that. To them, they're like, this is Star Wars, this is kind of cool, right? This is a spy thriller. I mean, that's what the Gilroy brothers produced, right? And I enjoyed the shit out of it. Jesus, girl. See, there you go. I don't want to know what the fuck that podcast is about, but it sounds interesting.
Where's the Google?
We got some ones in here. Definitely some ones. Okay, so some people do. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people spend a lot of time in their cars and they can't put their phones and video up. So they just throw on a Spotify, or they throw on what's the other one? Odyssey or iTunes, and they listen to everything, you know? Yeah. I get a lot of people that are telling me that I got to get onto all the other sub platforms. They got like, I don't remember what they're called. They're like Boomer and Fling and all the other different ones. I don't really have I don't know if I have the chutzpah to do all that. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. I mean, even YouTube's a lot. We were talking about the fatigue the other day, right? Getting to the end of the year, busy with other stuff. You take a break, you're doing some stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to make a video, right? I knew you were going to put that one up. I know what the first one was. I wasn't sure what the second one was. I think that's BDSM, maybe? BDSM? Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. Right on. I mean, I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that before, so I wouldn't have any idea what that is. I thought it was like boom, but I guess not. I had a 1 in 26 shot, so, 1 in 52, technically. I just picked the right one. I don't know. But back to what we were saying, I think that the Muggles have enjoyed what's come out. I think we, as the people that are in the bubble, tend to be a little more judgy. And forget if you went to film school. Like, you went to film school, forget about it, right? Like, you're already judging it for the lighting and this and the that and the what have you, So Yeah, we're doing that as a fan base at this point. Exactly. Like regardless if we went to school for it, we're so accustomed to everything that we've seen that came before that.
Right, but at the same time, if you're accustomed to the stuff you've seen before, then fuck 4K, right? Fuck 1080. Let's go back. If that's the look and feel you're looking for, like you're using new technologies, you're using new lighting systems, you're on LED versus.
I'm talking about the capability of people to create a convincing universe. Regardless of what kind of aspect ratio that you're shooting in.
Let's just talk about Andor for a second.
Oh, you want to talk about the prop department on Andor? Let's go.
If you can put this in a concise how you think about Andor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I lost my train of thought on the question.
I think you did.
Me.
Yeah. Did you do a funny plant?
No. No, I got a text about my trailer one right in mid-sentence, and I'm like, what? Are you coming right now? No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like just Andor and the look of Andor, I feel like the whole show was about oppression, right? The focus of the show was about the boot on the throat, right? That was basically the point of the feel of the show. That's what I saw.
I know,
right?
But you said oppression, and then my mind was just like, "Oh God."
No, I'm just saying the might of the Empire, right? That's all I'm saying. The might of the Empire in this show was definitive, right? You cross us, you die, right? That was basically how I viewed the show. You know, and at the
this
same,
kind of like old times, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean this. You expect a diverse opinion, right? Like
Ghost Rider, what do you want me to? You want me to highlight this stuff in chat? Here, I heard boob jobs and wish I was paying attention. Please repeat. Sure, Tube TV. Like, yeah, totally. I'll put that up. How about law? I'm not ignoring you. I just you gotta say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, I mean, the problem is that anything that modern Star Wars is trying to accomplish, I'm always going to go back and reference what came before, right? So when it comes to the sound department, Van Burt, like I'm always going to look at that. When it comes to the prop department, I'm going to look at early ILM and look at what they did with Tiger. Right, they created an entire fucking Death Station out of old Tiger Tank parts.
But you also said that about John Williams. He came back and did something, and you shit on it.
Right? No, so, I didn't mind. No, I didn't mind I did not mind at all the music for the Kenobi. I thought it was one of.
Can we go back and look at the tape on that?
Let's remember before you start going. That I said I didn't have a problem with the specific Kenobi piece that he made. I thought it was one of his weaker pieces because it wasn't quite as sweeping and I hate to say it like this, but horny. Really, John really likes to put French horns in it. Are you looking up stuff right now?
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Look, hey, honestly, if I did say that's the worst fucking John Williams piece I've ever heard in my life, then I will eat.
I'm not going to go back and find the receipts. I don't
it.
have that kind of time. I'm just saying I can remember a negative connotation, a negative tone.
Do you remember the Kenobi show? Yeah, I was negative at the time. I was very upset.
Again, not. Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. I think my receipts might be accurate for a return. That's all.
And I also, if you remember, I said the strongest part of the sequel trilogy was the music, as always. John Williams always lands his pieces. He does great. So I'm putting everything up against, and I'll be honest with you, the sequel trilogy, this is going to be a receipt, so you guys can keep it. The sequel trilogy was better than Kenobi and Boba.
I'm sorry, say that again. What?
The sequel trilogy was better than Kenobi and Boba.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with different aspects of both shows. I can say that for those
I take that back. The Last Jedi was, I don't know. That's a long conversation.
I feel like
take that receipt back.
The Favreau, I feel like if 2022 has done anything, it has definitely, I don't even know what the best word for this is, but took the star filter off of Favreau and kind of shown him in a different light for a lot of people because, Boba was his show, right? That was him and Robbie Rod doing doing Boba, right? And
Bobby Rod.
Robbie, doesn't
Bobby
matter.
Rod.
It sucked. I don't care. It sucked. You know, so for me, it's I feel like this took the star filter off of Robbie Rod, or I'm sorry, off of Favreau, right? Everybody was Favreau's a savior. Favreau's a savior. He put up a couple of L's this year for the team.
Dude, so everybody, do you remember in the beginning of 23 we were like, you know what it reminds me of? The Dallas Cowboys. Like, this is our year. This is our year. And then,
You're a savage. You're a savage.
and then in the first quarter, Dak Prescott's leg just yeah. So it was a tricky year for sure.
Well, but what I'm saying is, at the end of last year, if we roll back time and we look at the end of last year, Favreau was on a pedestal, right? And the fandom was literally, Favreau can do no wrong, because the first 2 seasons of Mando hit, right? The finale of Mando was amazing. So at the end of last year, everybody's like, holy shit, Jon Favreau is the greatest thing since anything, right?
Never understood the deitization. What's the word you look for?
No, but even still, people were like, John is the savior of Star Wars. And then he comes into 2022, puts a couple L's on the board.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm a fan of Filoni, and Filoni comes in and puts, a couple of big episodes on the books, and now everybody's looking to see what he can do with his own show all the way through. So it's a tough gambit, and I feel like last year, if anything, there were a couple L's on the board for sure. I'd rather call them ties than L's, because
no, it was an L for
I
sure.
don't know. I still really enjoyed. I mean, like I said, I lost money, so who am I to? I should be complaining louder than anybody on Kenobi, but I still dug it.
Sorry, what?
I lost more money than anybody on
right.
Kenobi.
I got $100 of your money off,
and
of
I
Kenobi.
should be complaining. So did
Sheev or ABJ or
no, Fatal J.
Oh, it was Fatal J. That's
got
right.
Got $100 of my money. But yeah, I mean, look, I lost money on the gig, and it sucks, and I should be madder than anybody, but I'm not, because I really enjoyed Kenobi. I thought there were parts that were not great, but overall, I think they did better than what I thought they were going to give us, to be honest.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was worried.
Ugh.
I was more after a show being in production that long, a lot of things can get lost.
I think it all got lost.
I don't. I mean, the gripes I have. Look, the gripes I have are real simple. Anakin de-aging should have been priority 1, right? If you're gonna bring Hayden back, de-age him. That should be the number one focus for those.
Bringing your star back, your boy.
Right, dude, and you're gonna use him more. So you should already want to get those faces into the computer and start working on the de-aging, because you're going to use him in Ahsoka. You're using him in some other projects. You should be looking for that opportunity to start that process. That way, when
Does that stay in a database? Like, if you get his face on screen, you got I don't know anything.
Yeah, and he's not spending as much time on screen as other people. Like, like for instance, like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford has lived on screen over the last 40 years.
Right.
It was a Harrison Ford movie for 40 years. Pick a movie. Go pick a decade you want to use his face. The Fugitive, or do you need to fast forward a little further? You know what I mean? The Air Force One. Like which age of Harrison do you need? Because he's on screen forever. Hayden quit, so you need to take time to rebuild that face. And I feel like that should have been priority 1, because it looked awful.
I'm kind of with Wizzy on this one. Like, that's not priority 1. For me, priority 1, like, even if you didn't bring Hayden back in, you just put a dude in a suit for Vader. Priority 1 for me is let's give Kenobi a story that people are going to be crying by the time they're done with it. You know what I mean? A really good story that makes sense in the greater. Well, yeah, some people cry when they watch the Teletubbies. You can't just be like, well, just because
that
you
hit a lot of
cry.
heartstrings. That when you're watching it with a non-Star Wars fans, and they look at you and you're like, that was some powerful shit. And I'm like, yeah, they like to pull at you, right? It's not the story I would have told. It's not the story a lot of people wanted. Unfortunately, it's the story we got. And there are parts that are not great, but overall, there were some parts that were really awesome.
I just want to bring this up really quick, by the way, because I don't think I've had my channel for 616 days.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
I don't think so.
I'd have to look at your About Me section.
Yeah,
Look how
maybe.
long your channel
But you
has been up.
sure as shit haven't been waiting 616 days. You can wait 617. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
You know, we
like I
got to
said-
check budgets. We got to check the budget. Bringing on another wrench. You know, it's a big hit to the channel. Really big hit to the channel. So we got to make
I
sure.
mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a wrench here, and I sponsor the channel.
You're not a wrench here?
I don't think so. Here, I'll type something, but I don't think so. I want to say no.
I probably did it for good reason.
Oh, I
Just
absolutely
start
did it. For good
fucking
reason.
banning people left and right.
I would have banned everyone all the time.
Ray's perfect. Get out of this chat. You're toxic.
No, I'm not a wrench. No. So don't feel bad, bro. I sponsor the channel, and I'm still not a wrench.
Yeah, all the pretty stuff you're hearing me through.
It's okay. No
You're
worries.
looking at the AV
Don't
boy
get
himself.
sad. We don't
We'll make
die.
you a
We
wrench.
multiply, right?
Look, I'll sharpen the pencil. I think we can work you in. Okay. I think we can work you in. We can work you in on this one. Cody Eichel says, people must be able to say something is objectively trash and be okay with liking it. Star Wars fans seem so insecure sometimes. Yeah, that kind of brings up, it's so funny because if you're on either side of the battle, right? The other side calls the other side toxic. Always, 100%.
Well,
You got toxic
I don't-
negativity and toxic positivity.
And see, that's the one I enjoy. I enjoy the toxic positivity because it's a stupid ass statement. You can't be toxically positive.
That's like saying you can't be racist if you're look, we're not going to go down that road, but you know what I'm saying.
That's an oxymoron, right? And I'm used to
Toxic positivity is an oxymoron.
Yeah,
I can prove it to you.
It's an oxymoron.
I can prove to you that it's real.
Oh well, again, I don't think it's real. I don't think.
Are you denying the existence?
Yeah, I do. I think that's a stupid ass statement. I don't care if it's all over Twitter. Toxic positivity is a stupid ass statement. You're either toxic or you're positive. You can't be both.
Nathan, I signed up for YouTube in 2010.
Well,
you talked to me the first night I actually started making videos.
And to be clear, I don't call the other side toxic. You take what you want from it, right? It doesn't affect me. But, there's no right and wrong unless you're the dude himself that made it.
Nipsey brings up a really good point here.
Well, I mean, you got to look at how many super chats come in, and then you got to look at memberships, and then you got to divide that by 3.14, to get the circumference. So yeah, there's a lot of work in that.
Yeah, we got about $4 to work with tonight, so we might have to do another stream before we can work you in Obsession. Just one more stream.
And I am excited at the idea that Filoni is going to use the World Between Worlds and not try to create any kind of multiverse. This makes me excessively happy.
Somebody take a timestamp. How long did it take before we got to Ahsoka? 33 minutes and 25 seconds.
Hey, we're working into the next seasons of everything. I've told you my hot take on Bad Batch already.
Remind me.
Rex, Gregor, and Wolf kill Cody. And that's why Rex chooses to remove themselves from the rebellion.
Can I be 100% honest with you? Because I like that theory. I think I'm kind of apathetic towards Bad Batch.
That's cool. I'm excited.
I mean, I'm excited to watch something, but at the same time, it's just like I need something, man. And that's why, I'm working on a video right now that's going to be, I guess you'll call it controversial. The title of the video is Rose Tico was right.
Which means
like, bro, somebody's gonna click on that fucking thing.
Absolutely. If you just title it that, it's gonna get 1 million views.
I just feel like the further we've got, so I was a really big proponent of let's tell new stories. Let's tell new, bring in new characters, stuff like that. The further we get into kind of this half-baked let's hold on to what was, but also bring in new. It's not working for me either way. Like brand new characters, I haven't really found anybody I've liked other than Cal Kestis. I love Cal Kestis. But other than that, I mean, it just seems like kind of a crappy attempt at a rehash of something that worked. And so
when is constituted as new? Anything after the prequels?
I guess brand new Disney character. So, you know, like I wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's
like
this
Ezra
is like post
and Kanan and
this is post post Rebels. So post Rebels, Rogue One.
Okay.
That kind of era. Oh, hold on. I gotta send something right quick though.
Well, and look, Bad Batch for me, it's much like Tales, right? It's just filling in.
We've got our first other content creator coming in. Somebody have known for a long time.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
It's nerds. Two nerds. But anyways, to try to continue on the point, why I'm trying to say like maybe Rose Tico was right is instead of destroying what we hate, let's save what we love. Right? I mean, it's the Star Wars that came before. Maybe we really need to go back to that. Maybe we need to go back to the Skywalker saga, to the days that we never got in that heir to the Empire era, and focus on that kind of stuff. I mean, at this point, it's worth a shot. Give us a de-aged Luke like they did in not Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and Mandalorian too, but
I'm in Mando.
We did for a second, which was honestly one of my favorite moments in modern Star Wars. But you know, give us that Luke, give us a shot. Let's get, you know, what's the Winter Soldier guy's name? I can never remember his name. So what do you got to lose at this point?
I like what they're doing. With Survivor. It's a interesting way potentially to take on a new era and bring in the High Republic and tell some different stories.
Apathetic. It's two different things.
But I think, you know, potentially if Jedi Survivor is, you know, what we've all kind of been looking into.
Who's Rose Rico?
Isn't that her name?
Rose Rico?
Rose Tico?
No, Rose Rico.
Oh, I don't know.
We got another guy. Oh god, I feel like this is gonna be a cameo because I see his camera shaking everywhere.
Hey, you wanted this.
What are you doing?
What up, dog? Is it raining?
What up, my guys?
Is it
What are
raining?
you doing?
It is raining.
Oh, sucks to be you.
Why do you have a towel or when you're walking around outside?
No, he's got a coat on.
Oh, that's a coat.
It's like I'm on Hoth, my guy. It's
okay. That's like a wool thingy. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked like you had a gym towel. I can't see the whole thing, so.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
That's what's up.
I sent Shiva a link. I was like,
what are you here to? Obviously, you're gonna shill. I'm talking about how I don't think I really care about Bad Batch that much, and I think maybe we need to take a minute and go back to some OG Star Wars.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think you're gonna be in for a surprise with Bad Batch season 2. I think it's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think there's gonna be some pretty big events, and it's gonna start tying into the greater universe. And whether that means big character cameos, I can't say for sure. But obviously, I think Cody's gonna be a big part of the story. I think the Clone Rebellion is gonna be a high point of the season, in my opinion. I think it's kind of been set up in season 1. I just think a lot.
Way to go with the spoilers, bro.
I honestly don't know any spoilers.
I like I told him. I think Rex and the boys are gonna kill Cody, and that's their step away. I think that's the big ending of the Rex arc.
All right,
Sheev,
get on your. Are you by your? You can get to your computer soon.
Soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
get on your computer and then come back.
Get out of the rain. Oh, we lost him anyway.
We have somebody else to bring in. We have another Star Wars content creator to bring in. Somebody I've met personally. Been my friend for a very long time. And the only person that puts my mustache to shame.
Mustache.
2 Star Wars nerds.
What's up, man?
Dude, did you get a crispier camera?
I did.
You are looking mighty crispy, like an overdone potato chip crispy.
And the studio is no more studio, if you could ever
Yeah, I
called it
know.
that.
It's so bright in there. I miss
I
all
know.
the foam tiles.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, this is like the most. I'll text you a picture. It's the most janky setup right now, but
I kind of love it. You look like
What?
you should be calling a game during COVID or something.
Or in a hotel room.
it feels like a hotel room. We're moving soon, so it's kind of a hotel room. But
Oh, I like your sweatshirt.
thanks, man.
So,
It's nice.
my friend, well, we're just gonna fold you right into the conversation. So we're kind of in the middle of having this talk about, is it better to continue on with kind of what we have going on, which is, it's an introduction of new characters. So obviously, we have the Acolyte show coming out. We're gonna get this Jude Law. What I don't even remember the premise. They called it Stranger Things in Space, essentially.
Okay.
Is it better to keep trying to move in that direction and get into a groove where it's going to work, or is it better to kind of flop back and try to see if we can explore the time between Return and what we've gotten since then? So that kind of dead era, the heir to the Empire, the expanded universe where it really kind of thrived. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so for me, it might be in a kind of a weird position because the last Disney thing we watched was Book of Boba Fett. So I haven't seen anything past.
You
Book
didn't
of
watch
Boba.
Kenobi?
Mm-mm. Didn't watch
We
Kenobi.
have to watch it together.
Didn't watch Kenobi, but that was more. And this, I'm not gonna derail and go down that. That was more of a meta thing for me, just not liking Disney,
Right.
and just taking a stand on that. But more so, I think to your question, I don't know. I think if they go to that heir to the Empire era, like post Return of the Jedi, I feel like it's just gonna potentially just upset. I mean, you're never gonna have everybody happy, but I feel like it's gonna upset a lot of people
Because
they're gonna
bad take on a rehash.
Yeah, I feel like the people who are upset are just gonna get more upset, and it's like I think they should take like a wild swing for the fence and do their do totally new stuff. I know that's hard in the Star Wars universe, but
Right.
like,
So no Old Republic, no post Return of the Jedi, none of that stuff. Just get out of there.
I don't know. I just feel, I mean, I try not to be insular and in a bubble, but I feel like when you keep touching stuff that's existed, like people either have their hopes up and they get like bothered, they're like, oh, well, it's not what I read or it's not what I watched. And so it's almost better not to touch it. But then if you don't touch it, you're also letting people down. So that's why I'm not the CEO of the of the company, because I almost think it's better just do brand new stuff.
I'm kind of with you, for sure. I'm kind of with you, and I'm kind of against you. I'm like, man, I really wish we could just get that heir to the Empire story. I really want that heir to the Empire story. But to your point, they might just mess it up. So what do you do? What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, there's like a Darth Angelus. Have you seen that guy? He's completely it's just a one-man team. I mean, there's a bunch of voice actors, but he's completely redoing Heir to the Empire. Like, I don't know if it's through like Unreal Engine or something, but he's like animating it, like every chapter of the book.
Did they do Old Republic stuff too?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I don't know.
All I know is that he's doing Heir to the Empire, but it's like a total fan.
All you
like
getting here?
A total fan edit kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, so that's an option. Like fans press in and make their own stuff to stay true to the stuff of the past. But
did you hear my nuclear take earlier? I said
No.
Rose Tico was right.
Rose Tico was right.
Rose Tico was right. Yeah. We're not going to save Star Wars by killing what we hate, but by saving what we love. I feel like that's not even that nuclear, but I mean, it's kind of true, right?
And so, what was it again? Not by killing what we hate, by saving what we love.
I don't remember what she said. Honestly, I put most of it out of my brain for a very long time, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah.
That I feel like that's kind of the note they're taking in Survivor, right? That's exactly the note they're taking. Is they're like, okay, so people want us to move into a different era. Let's use this game
Following Polly
as a platform to introduce somebody in the High Republic, somebody from an older time, species we don't know. I feel like
do the High Republic, bro.
I really think they are, man. I really think they're going back into a time. The only other thing I can think that they're going back to is like the Mandalorian, like the Mandalore the Great era, because this guy is obviously a Jedi from old times, right? He's trapped in a Bacta tank for years and years. He's betrayed by his friends. That's the premise of Jedi Survivor and the villain. So I feel like they're going back to a time we haven't seen, and we're getting characters and species we haven't seen and we don't know. And the armor looks ancient. The mask looks similar to Revan. The cloaks look very High Republic. That character that we don't know who he is yet is from a time long ago. And so I feel like they're doing exactly what you guys want. Get out of this time frame. Get out of the Skywalker era. We're pissed off about the future of the Skywalker era. So let's stay away from that and let's do this. Let's see how this pushes, because if people like the character, then maybe we'll get an animated show similar in the Clone Wars art form, or maybe they'll do something live action. There's possibilities there, but I think they're doing just what you guys have been talking about. I'm telling you, I think some of these people kind of listen to YouTube to get a feel for the
Well, they're not listening hard enough, okay? Because I didn't want a High Republic show. That's not what I meant. I'm like, tell a new story. They're like, we've got the High Republic. I'm like, fuck, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, I think. Oh gosh. I don't know. Now I'm feeling conflicted because I haven't really given it much thought. So, at the risk of verbal processing live, I think as a business, I think they need to finish the stories they have, which means they've got to flesh out in between 6 and 7. Because I feel like if they don't, at just business, I'm not talking story. I feel like if they don't flesh that out a lot, there's going to be a lot of people who are also upset. Who are
there's
like
a lot
they're
of
looking
unfinished
forward
business in that era.
Yeah,
well, they're doing a lot of work. I mean, they're putting in a lot of shows in this timeline, right? I mean,
it's all Mandoverse, right?
I mean, everything is on that timeline right now.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew's on that timeline. Ahsoka's on that timeline. Mando, Boba, all this stuff is in that same timeline. So it seems like they're putting cards on the table. It's just a matter of how they get to their cinematic event, because that's what they're building to.
Yeah, the big Mando wrap-up cinematic Marvel universe on your left. Freaking story that they want to tell.
The last minute hero coming out from the ground or some shit.
It's
right?
gonna be Luke. He's just gonna be a reanimated corpse. They're like, fuck it, you'll watch it. And he's gonna be like, I'll give him a lightsaber. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited. How about you guys?
You guys all like the Luke from the Boba episode. Everybody was really into that whole sequence. I didn't hear many complaints on the facial reconstruction, the animation on his face, the voice. I didn't really hear a lot of complaining. Everybody was so happy in the middle of what they
talk about him in the third person
of what they justified as a shitstorm. That was like a moment of rest in the rain, and everybody was so excited. I didn't hear any negative complaints about that.
But they simultaneously ruined the entire story of the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett by basically just taking Grogu, and Luke's like, whatever, you don't want to train here? Like, fuck you. Stuck him in an X-Wing and was like, peace.
R2,
hit the Uber button and just
get him out of here.
We'll see ya. It makes no sense. So in everything good that they do, I feel like there's something that follows right behind it that ruins it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, did you really expect Grogu to leave for the entirety of the rest of the show? Or did you
would have been great, because Mando season 3 would be like, man, what are they doing now? But we're like, oh, well, I guess they're back together for no reason.
Have you guys seen Oz? The show Oz, like HBO,
The
prison show, like
No.
back in the day. So it's so crazy because when you watch the pilot, there's so much that happens in this pilot, and there's all these amazing actors, but in the first episode of Oz, they build up this character like surely this is the main character, and right off the bat they kill him off, and you're like,
Oh.
I can't. I mean,
It's a great way to set the tone, though.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, this is prison. Like,
yeah,
like main characters can die just like that. I feel like a problem is Grogu. There's too much merchandising behind him to let him go, and there's a lot that hinges on him. I think there's a lot of characters that, I mean, the reality is they're bleeding for money right now on subscription. So I think they're like, we want to be as careful and judicious as possible. And so I think some of the risk is getting pulled out, where it's like, what if we really just did something? Well, it doesn't matter whether people like it or not, right? It's like, what if we just tried to tell a story like Insular, like we're just going to try and tell a Star Wars story. I think there's some
Andor.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You didn't watch it? Watch it,
dude. I'm for real. Nothing after Book of Boba.
Look, I know how you feel. I got to be honest with you, man. Like even me, you know me a long time. We known each other a long time. Like sit that, just give Andor a chance. You know what I mean? You may walk out and hate it. Honestly,
it's a coin flip.
It was honestly like the first shot that they've taken at actually telling a decent story.
The only
you are gonna hate the props, though. I'm telling you, because you and I think about Star Wars very alike. Dude, the prop department is a real problem, and so is the music. So those are the two big hits.
I know. I don't know why I'm blanking on the guy's name. The guy who played Gollum, Anthony Serkis. Yeah, there we go.
Andy, not Anthony.
What did I said? Anthony.
You said Anthony.
Yeah, I just made a lot of Lord of the Ring fans pretty upset. I know he's in it. I know there's some pretty bright scenes, temperature color wise. That's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, the acting in that show is bar none best. I think best we've gotten in Star Wars. The acting is top
everybody was complaining that the guy who doesn't know shit about Star Wars is making Star Wars content, and it was pretty fire, to be honest.
That's an interesting question, and something I would pose to you guys, and something I would pose to the chat. Do you think it's better to have a Star Wars fan write Star Wars, or to have a non-Star Wars fan write Star Wars, and then a Star Wars fan direct Star Wars?
2022 already answered that question. Robbie Rod took Boba and chastised it.
Was he really a Star Wars fan, though?
Dude, fuck you! Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Was he really a Star Wars fan, though? Or was he just like, I like Star Wars a lot? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I can't believe you. Outrageous.
You didn't answer the question, though.
Outrageous. They already did this. 2022 gave us that. You took Boba Fett, who made artwork in the backyard.
Yours just went from 50 down to like 38.
Right? You took a guy who was like, I'm making Star Wars in my backyard with my kids, and that's how I got my episode. And then they gave him a whole show, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. And it wasn't. And then you took a guy who openly was like, I don't really know that much about Star Wars. And he makes a fire ass show.
Right. Fire ass is strong, but I mean, from a story standpoint, it was a lot better than anything we've ever gotten.
The first 3 minutes of that show, I'm just like, yep, they're cutting off heads. They're doing this. This Star Wars is rad. Mando cut off a head and delivered it on a dining room table. Star Wars is not PG anymore. I'm sorry.
It never was. The first thing that happened in 77 is a dude walks into a bar and cuts somebody's arm off.
I know. I'm just saying.
I love it when people say Star Wars is for kids. Like, bullshit. Fuck you talking about?
I'm saying.
Anakin walks into a room full of kindergartners like, sorry, dudes.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just saying. Like,
what do you think? What do you think, nerds?
About the writing, directing question?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think you need good writers. You need like people who understand ghostwriting, because it's not, you're not just like, you're not having one-off shows and one-off movies. Like you're stepping into something very large, and so they need to be able to ghostwrite and to fit. I don't know. I think all the different kind of like feels and pieces can work to a degree, but that's just gonna, it's just gonna toss you around. You're gonna be all over the place. So I think if somebody's a fan but they can't write, or if they're a fan and they want to like kind of write their own thing, I almost think it's better if you could have just a strong ghostwriter who can do their research.
Right.
Well,
and
that's
fill in.
I feel like that's
Have
what
somebody
Tony and
else
his,
write the songs.
that's what Tony and his brother did. His brother wrote like the first 2 episodes, I think, something like that.
we got to bring in somebody else.
You know, so I feel like that's what he did.
Nick from Echo Base Network. What's up, buddy?
I had to balance out the panel a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 3-on-1 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Session's
say,
just
what-
waiting for his
what
fucking
balance
life
is
right
this
now.
shit? I'm throwing headphones and yelling in the background. How is this?
No, I mean, I can always count on Mr. Nerds over here to be, objective, at least objective, and it kind of helps that he hasn't seen a lot of the new Disney stuff that's been put out, because when we talk about it, he's like, yeah, it sounds like a fucking horrible idea. How you doing, Nick?
I just am still getting over being sick, so I still feel like shit a little bit. But other than that, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad.
Good, man. So we're having a brief conversation. We're going to move on to the next topic here in a minute, but it's a really interesting, I think, in my eyes, an interesting thing to think about. Who should be directing and writing Star Wars? Do you think it makes more sense for somebody who knows Star Wars very well to write Star Wars, or for somebody who doesn't know Star Wars well to write Star Wars, and then have a director, a producer, the rest of it put the Star Wars blanket over the story?
As far as writing, I don't know how you can write Star Wars and not know Star Wars. That just doesn't make sense to me.
So you like the Book of Boba Fett?
No, I hated it.
Hey, look, Bobby Rod was a huge Star Wars fan, and I remember jiving with Obsession and being like, "This is our guy."
Yeah,
I had pom poms. I'm like, Bobby Rod's gonna save Star Wars, and then we
t-shirt
watched the show, and it was like, what the fuck?
Well, and everybody lets Favreau off the hook, bro. It's that was the two
That
of
was a
them.
Favreau project.
Oh
That was
yeah,
a Favreau
yeah.
show, man.
I definitely don't let Favreau off the hook for that.
Like a lot of people do.
A lot of that's his fault too. But I almost feel like he just didn't give a shit about Book of Boba Fett. It was like he was busy doing other stuff.
You know what it feels like
And he was
to
just
me?
kind of like hands off, like, okay, you go do this. Like, I wrote some stuff out, you fill in the blanks and whatever, and I'm gonna go do my other thing over here.
Well, it feels like everybody was so over the moon. I'm gonna put these in light terms. So over the moon for what he did on Mando, the Boba episode, because it was great, right? He came out and delivered an amazing Boba Fett. Everybody was super excited, and then they're like, "Cool, that was a great episode. Here's your own show. Bye," and let him off to his devices. And I just that's kind of how I feel about it, because for Favreau to drop the ball that much, that's a huge hit, right? Because he's got a reputation of putting out monsters, and to put your name on that's an L for him.
Yeah, big time.
And that's why I feel like, look, Tony Gilroy came out and said it outright. I don't know a lot about Star Wars, right? And everybody was like, grab your pitchforks, we're gonna kill this guy, right? And everybody was on fire. How are you going to hire somebody that doesn't know shit about Star Wars? And then he writes this thing with his brother, and it's a show that's by far the best one that we've gotten in this year, right? And the guy that was supposed to be the pom-pom princess, he got roasted for the trash he put out, right?
You know what's funny? I haven't heard a word from Bobby Rod since Book of Boba Fett. I
He
haven't
has his-
seen an article on
he
the
has his
direct. I haven't seen anything out of
Took
that
his
guy.
check and walked home.
You know what I think though? It's like, so I like Robert Rodriguez as a director.
Me too.
I really do, but I like him for Robert Rodriguez films.
Right,
You watch them,
Machete and stuff
they're-
like that.
yeah, and like
Spy Kids and stuff.
Spy Kids.
Did he do
No,
Spy
like
Kids?
that's
He did
what
do
was it.
Spy Kids.
Yeah.
That explains the storytelling. Okay.
Is the Robbie Rod I think of.
But like you watch the stuff he did with Quentin Tarantino, you watch the stuff he did in the 90s, action to a T. He is the embodiment of over the top
Right.
action.
He did good on the
And-
Boba Fett episode in Mando
That's-
season 2.
That's what I'm saying.
So
He's like
I
Michael Bay without the
remember-
budget.
I remember though he was given a small script for that Mando episode and he filled it with action. And
Yeah.
that was the complaint of a lot of people. But then I think the downfall is they gave him his own show.
He had
But
too
like the
much
same
room to
thing,
work.
like Ryan Johnson is actually a great director. Like if you watch Knives Out, he's
Or
actually
the Glass Onion.
he's actually talented. But you stick him in an environment like Star Wars, and to me, it just doesn't work. Same with Robert Rodriguez. You can
He's
take
out of
very
his depth.
you can take very talented
too
people.
excited. Not
and
out of
yet-
his depth, too excited. Right? Too excited to write what they want to see, right? Not so and direct what they
You
want
can
to
be
see.
excited and tell a good story. I feel
I-
like that's a cop out. I mean,
I-
like the dude just fucked up.
But,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
see
I'm
what you're
Maybe
saying, though.
Maybe fans shouldn't be directing and writing. Maybe they should be in the room, in the story room, helping along the story, but maybe they shouldn't be directing and producing these shows. Maybe we should be leaving it to people like Tony Gilroy that come in with a fresh approach. That's it just seems like that's working.
Deborah Chow was probably the biggest hit for me, I think, because I wasn't like super hyped about Deborah Chow. She's very quiet when she's in interviews and talking about stuff, but everything she said like hit, it landed. I'm like, dude, Deborah Chow is gonna knock Kenobi out of the park, and I had my reservations. And cover your giant earbuds there, Mr. Nerds. But when Kenobi hit, I fucking lost all faith in that woman to do any Star Wars project ever again. You're talking about the most influential. I mean, obviously, Luke Skywalker coming back was probably the most influential moment in modern Star Wars, right? But we're talking about, for the prequel kids, the most influential show that could have come out that you could ever make. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, you can't mess this up. And you threw it down the drain. Like, what were you thinking? A little baby Leia, all of a sudden now they're butt buddies on an adventure? What the fuck are you thinking? How
Did
how
Deborah
you do
Chow?
that?
She didn't write Kenobi though, did she?
No, she didn't write
Yeah.
it. She directed it.
Yeah.
But if you're a Star Wars fan and you're directing a show, I would have taken that script. I don't know if she just got, because I don't know how these things work. I don't know if she got handed a script and was like, yeah, sounds great. I would have been like, I'm not directing the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have stepped. I would have bowed out.
I'm gonna respectfully bow out and say that I don't want any part of this.
'Cause-
And if
'cause she
did that, I
directed-
would have been like, Deborah Chow needs to do the next movie.
Yeah, because she directed Chapter 3, The Sin, and Chapter 7, The Reckoning of Mando season 1,
But-
and I like those 2 episodes.
This goes back to my larger
know?
point. This goes back to my larger point. These people that are directing episodes, you're given a script that's already written, that's already processed. You're given a script. Here's your stuff. We're going to go through this episode. Boom. You're given an entire show. It's a different gambit that you're running through. And this is example after example, right? You've got Robbie Rod, you've got Deborah Chow, you've got all those are 2 great examples, right? Bryce Dallas Howard hasn't been given her own show, but I fear that she might even get hamstringed with a full show and developing it all the way through, right? So it's a dangerous gambit, whereas they bring in somebody like Tony Gilroy, who isn't in the inner circle, and he produces a better show. It just seems like maybe pulling these directors that are great at episodics and giving them an entire show maybe isn't the way they should be doing it. Maybe they should keep them directing episodes.
Well, they're doing it like me. They're doing a weird, like, they're doing a live stream. They're like, who's gonna show up? Who do we got? Who can we talk about Star Wars with? And they're like, you write Star Wars? Okay. And they brought in all these different people. and they're spending millions of dollars throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it's not good for Star Wars, in my humble opinion. It's not good for Star Wars. I think they need to pick more people like Tony Gilroy to write a story, and then have other people come in off the bench that are fans, like, oh god,
and can fix Tony Gilroy's story and make it Star Wars, more Star Wars.
Not even so much that. I think the basis of what they did was good, but they need to get better now that we have the story. Round out the action, round out the prop department, round out all the different things you need. Bring in somebody like Doug Chang to look at the props and be like, that's not Star Wars, sorry.
It's also a first season, right? First seasons are always experimental, right? They're always they're not finished, polished products. When we get a second season of this show, I kind of feel like with all the things that they saw on screen, you even hear Tony talk about it in one of his interviews. Oh yeah, the props department snuck that in, right? Like, he talks about it in an interview, and I feel like those kind of things get ironed out with a second season, right?
At this point in time, do you think we should be going through this trial by air phases and with Star Wars?
Just really quick, Nick, I want to say something really quick. There's no fucking way that the person who put in the Starkiller armor is the same person that put Burton snowboard boots on Imperials. So there's some kind of a disconnect here, because that's fucking shenanigans. There's absolutely no chance those two people ever even met each other in the hallway and were like, yeah, that'll work.
I mean, somebody was like, hey, we need some rubber boots. We need some annoying rubber boots. Who's got some rubber boots? Hey, you go find me some rubber boots, PA. And some PA brought some rubber boots. I mean,
what was Star Wars Theory? Yakking about the bricks and the screws or something.
The brick.
I was with him, dude. I didn't even
notice it. I didn't even notice it.
I knew what he was saying. And the bottom line is, when it came to that show and how it played out, there were things in it that took you out of the Star Wars universe. So I understood the broad scope of what he was saying, and the amount of backlash that came out of that fucking comment, just that little bitty comment.
I don't watch his content anymore, so I can't.
I was on my own personal Facebook and saw it in a Star Wars memes. They're like, blah, 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 screws and bricks. I'm like, are you kidding me? It went that far?
I didn't hear the comment, so I don't know what.
The comments were all over. Like I said, I was in a Star Wars like meme group or something like that. No, not his. Well, yeah, his comment, but the backlash from it. I was in a Star Wars meme group that doesn't partake in this universe of, content creators. And somebody was like, yeah, some YouTuber said this. I'm like, some YouTuber? It's like the focal point of the fandom. What the heck are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
I think Nick was starting to say something that was really interesting. Like, should it be trial and error? Like, the reality for me, if we go back to after the Disney buyout, we're still watching Star Wars. There's the sequels. After the sequels, for me, I just was like, I'm just gonna stick to like the old Blu-ray set and the old shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm sticking to, and
the books.
Yeah, and then we got Disney Plus, and the Mandalorian was like the big thing, and just put on the first episode to just be like, okay, let's just try it, and I was like, dang, this is actually like legit. And kind of started buying into things again. But then it got to a point, especially over the last 2 years, where I'd be like, I'm ready for the next thing. And I was just so let down. And the Book of Boba, for me, that was one where it was like, so like after Bad Batch, I did not like Bad Batch. I started to like it, and then I didn't like it at the end. And for me, Book of Boba, I was just like, I cannot believe that this was signed off on by so many people, and among many other things, that's where I'm like, I could actually like step away and not care. Maybe, who knows, maybe down the line, I want Star Wars to succeed, so maybe down the line I'll get amped up again for new stuff. But I think there's people like me that you're gonna lose with the trial and error, because it's like, if people are already kind of disenfranchised, I mean, kind of shooting from the hip and seeing what sticks.
I have Stockholm syndrome, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if they put something out, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I just can't help myself. I'm like an addict. I'm like, ooh, Star Wars. Like, I have to watch it.
See, for me, I was just like X-Wing. Something Star Wars is coming out, I'm watching it. I'm losing so much interest. I just can't anymore. Like, I'm not even watching Bad Batch season 2. I already told Coach, dude, I can't go through all those episodes.
Well, I
That-
understand not doing like a midnight watch party. Like I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna do
watching
watch
it,
parties for
period.
Bad Batch. No, I did it on Evil Ewoks. You know, 80 edits. I did it on his channel. I did all the watch part. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing that for Bad Batch. I'm not doing it.
But back to what my original point is my bar for Star Wars is high. Like, when they come out with stuff, I think they need to be coming out with greatness. You know, and there's so much good stuff that people have come out with over decades, you know, with Timothy Zahn, all the writers that did all the video game storylines, all the EU stuff, a lot of the comics. I mean, there's people out there that know Star Wars that can write good Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are all these people at? Like, if I was in charge, I'd be bringing in all these people that have proven themselves and done it before.
This is a great example, dude.
And be
right
bringing
here.
a lot of this stuff back, you know?
Donna Hergenrather. What do you all feel about Bryce Dallas Howard? I came in late, if you already said. I think she has a Star Wars heart. I've enjoyed what she's done, but the problem is that we're at the point where we may see one episode or something that these people have done, and we're like, okay, oh my God, they understand Star Wars. And then they're given their own their own project, their own show, whatever the case may be. And we're like, okay, we see all of the, you know, all the cracks show in a longer episodic series. So it's kind of tough. But Bryce Dallas Howard, I mean, look, she's Hollywood royalty. She comes from a family who knows how to make movies. If there was anybody that I think that was already established at this point that I would give a shot, it's going to be BDH. Definitely in front of Taika Waititi for sure. Like, please give it to Bryce. Don't give it to Taika.
Oh God!
Would you give her dad a shot again?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Solo was so problematic in so many different ways that, like, I don't blame anybody that was involved with that product.
Okay, but at the same time, if Solo was made now, right, with the technology of today, it would be a totally different feel, right? Same script. Same everything with a different actor. Everybody changes their tune.
I thought the guy who played Alden Ehrenreich, he did a great job at Solo. I don't think the film is his fault at all.
No. Again, but I'm telling you,
even freaking Kathleen Kennedy was like, the reason people didn't like it is because of Alden Ehrenreich. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
To hit that nostalgic tone, if it would have been a de-aged Harrison, the backlash I feel would have been a little bit lighter. I think.
I agree with that.
But I think it would have been a little bit lighter. I think a couple of the scenes would have played a little better. But ultimately, you know, I think the time that it was released, the technology of the day, if you did it today, it would be a far different.
That's that jump out, cop out. People are only mad because of the movie came before it. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that story should have been told completely differently. The second I see it show up on stream and somebody says, "How do you get your last name?" "Oh, well, I joined the Empire and I said it was by myself. That's how I got the name. I'm Solo."
That's
I'm the dumbest
effing
thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That kind of shit. Sometimes it's small things that drive people to the edge. That drove me nuts. You add into that the droid who wants droid freedom and is fighting for the right to be a free droid. Like, get that out of here. Just get all of it.
They did.
All
They
that shit.
that
just
droid
get
in
rid
a
of
ship.
it.
They
The
did exactly what you want.
Best part of that movie was Woody Harrelson and Kira. Those are the best parts of that movie.
The train heist.
Alden Ehrenreich, they did a really good job, and I feel so horrible for Alden Ehrenreich because I can't imagine what it's like to try to step into the shoes of Han Solo. It's got to be horrifyingly scary, and the guy nailed facial expressions, intonations, everything. The guy nailed it, and he got put in a shitty movie, and I feel horrible for him. But they missed. And no amount of CG and whatever the fuck you're talking about and de-aging and shit like that, it doesn't fix a bad story.
Yeah, and whatever happened to the Lando show?
I'm sorry, Donna.
Weren't we supposed to be getting that?
We're gonna revisit that, I promise.
Well, yeah, I mean, weren't we supposed to be getting Rogue Squadron also? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they plan on doing, that they have on the docket that just doesn't make it.
It's not off the table. And apparently now Patty Jenkins is so made of time that Rogue Squadron's back on the table.
You can't. I mean,
I'll believe it when it starts filming.
I really didn't give a shit about that movie to begin with.
That's like the one thing I'm excited for.
I know.
I was also worried about it because in the artwork for the design of the title, it had the sequel trilogy X-Wings in it.
It did
not
have
the
a T-70,
OGs.
but here, okay. So, Nick, this is the one thing I'll say. Remember that those T-70s are the original design from Ralph McQuarrie.
Yeah, I remember that. But
So,
in
like, that's
Star
my
Wars
one
world, they
thing.
come after the OT, and they
Right.
come in the sequel trilogy. So,
But it's a Ralph. Come on, it's Ralph. I'm happy with it if it's Ralph.
I'm fine with the design. I just am not fine with the time period if it's taking place during the sequel trilogy with the First Order and all that.
All right. Question for the panel, because this is going to be tough. If something takes place within the same era of the sequel trilogy, and Obsession, I know you're going to be like, yeah, I fucking love it.
Whatever.
If it takes place in the same time frame and or shortly after, and or would you immediately be disenfranchised by the movie because it takes place in that time frame, even though it's an absolutely badass movie? Call it a Rogue Squadron movie where we have Wedge Antilles coming back. He's teaching young pilots. Call it Top Gun. Top Gun right after the sequels or something like that. You know, you got Wedge Antilles teaching young X-Wing pilots how to fight.
Boring.
So I think
I don't know.
this is why I would have a problem with it. They don't do standalone. Nothing standalone. Everything is integrated for better or for worse, whatever people think. But there's a connectivity that they want across everything. And that time period, it's all going to something I just don't like.
So Wedge is going to be teaching pilots. Ray's going to walk across the hallway in like a half a second scene, and people are going to be like, "Fuck this movie."
No, like what was it? Like
I will be.
Like you see different things in like even in Mandalorian, even Bad Batch, things that are pointing like to the sequel trilogy and to that era. Because I think the point is in 10, 15 years, when teenagers then are starting to watch, they're like, wow, there's been a plan from the beginning. All of this connects. I think that's kind of what's going on. So
that's exactly the plan. That's exactly what I've been saying for a year and a half, that no matter how much we want to fight it, no matter how much you want to hate it, no matter how much whatever, it's coming, right? It's the plan that the train they've set in motion. They're not going to have spent $5 billion to just be like, fuck it, let's do something else, right? Like,
not a bad idea though.
But it's not going to happen. It's not a business move they can afford, right? You can't say, okay, all those movies are crap. Everything we did was crap. We're going to start completely over. You can't do that in the same generation.
You know, they pulled all sequel trilogy figure toy lines, right? They're not going to make any more ever again. They pulled it completely.
Sweet. I mean, you can't.
If that's not an admission, they've made 67,000 different Landos, and I can tell you because every time you go,
there's always a Lando there.
You'll always find a Lando. They've been making Landos for 1,000 years. I think Lando might have been here before the first hominid, but I feel like that's an admission, a little bit of an admission that we're not going to get another Rey variant. We're not going to get another Snoke. There's not another toy line being made of.
You can wish and hope and unicorn horn all you want.
Well, I don't care. I don't have to buy it. I'm just saying it does
seem. There's going to be more. There's going to be more.
More sequel. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to revisit something that we did a long time ago. Obsession. Would you be prepared to make another $100 bet? Because last time I made some good money on that show.
You made good money last time.
Yeah,
you and Fatal J made some good money last time.
Would you be willing to bet $100? And this time, I'm not going to bet $1 to your $100. This time, I will honor the $100 bet. $100 to $100 bet. We will never get another Rey figure again.
Sure.
This could go
Sure,
on for the next 10 years, so we
what's-
got to stay
okay.
in contact. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
if you want
Has
to
Hot
do
Toys
like,
already made one?
if you want to do like $10 a year, just to keep it saucy,
$10 a year.
up to the 10-year mark.
So
That's
every
fine.
year at the end
I'll
of the
honor that.
year, I might
Sure.
get my $10.
Yeah.
I think we should do $100 every year.
Okay, I'm willing to lose $100 a year. We'll do it for the clicks.
Always clout chasing.
I spend more than that on coffee. Like, forget about it. Let's
So
go.
what if you set in motion a chain of events that keeps hype up around Ray Toys because you won't stop talking about it, and 10 years from now they're like, hey, you know what? There's a remnant left that just keep talking about how there's not a Ray Toy. We might as well just pull the trigger, give people a limited run. And then
I
get $1,000
A
bucks.
life spent on that is a life wasted.
I think it's a 10-year. I think within 10 years you'll have it for sure.
And I'll be honest with you, I've done that with Darth Bane.
You'll
I still haven't gotten a Darth Bane. And Star Wars Santa still hasn't gotten a fucking blurg after all this time. So I had to buy him a custom blurg from Spain.
And I'll even put an asterisk on it. I'll double your money. Well, how can I do this?
Each year we don't get a Ray
I'll
release.
let you
so
pay
double the money.
half, because I guarantee it will be a Jedi Master Ray or a Grandmaster Ray. So if it's a Grandmaster Ray,
I will send you to Jesus.
only have to pay half. Okay, that's how confident I'm going to be. It's going to be a Grandmaster or a Jedi Master Ray.
Jedi Master.
Does it count
Ray.
if HasLab does a crowd fund for it and it doesn't hit its mark and then they don't actually end up releasing it?
Oh, that's a times 10. If HasLab does a Ray and it doesn't land, that's times 10.
Right.
We'll look back at that. What was that the Riva saber that made
Right.
like $250, and they're like, oh, we messed up.
Yeah, I genuinely think if they do another toy with Ray, it will be a Jedi Master Ray or a Grandmaster Ray or something like that.
That is a strong stance, my friend.
Yeah, here.
Strong
I'll
stance.
give it to you. You just gotta press your hand to the palm, and that's bet. Go ahead, slap it. Go ahead, slap it. Okay, good enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been an hour and 21 minutes. Time to go off track. If anybody's ready to go off track, I'd like to talk about some Star Wars toys. Anybody want to talk about Star Wars toys? I don't know.
I'm still waiting on my
Mr.
Hot
Nerds,
Toys loot.
Are you a toys guy? I saw your collection. It was impressive in the room when I saw it.
That's I think impressive is a little bit of an overstatement, but I got like 7 or 8 minutes. I can talk about some toys. I don't know much. See, for me, the toys like when it comes to books, I get really, really particular, and I get like I'm very specific about what I collect. Toys, it's just kind of just for fun and what looks cool. Like I don't get too crazy and worked up about the details.
I'm very specific. You wouldn't know it by what's behind me, but I'm very specific about what I buy. What are you specific about?
Well, I really, honestly, I mean, new stuff, like when you go to stores, I was for a while, I was just buying whatever had Cara Dune on it, just because I was surprised that it was like still in stores. But that arcade we went to, old, like I really love especially the Phantom Menace toys. Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith is cool, but I love the Phantom Menace toys, like the red.
Dude, the red line
small
from
box.
Phantom Menace was huge. They made so much stuff.
It's ridiculous, and it's so overkill. And I don't know that was necessarily the best direction for Star Wars.
They have like 1,600 products that came out from the Phantom Menace line, and then it
wild.
died with Attack of the Clones. There was like nothing that came with Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but that's the stuff I like. I mean, it's just so cool to me. I mean, not just everything from the box to the toys, and like it's like every scene and configuration imaginable is found. Like that's
and then
cool.
they made like toys that would. Do you remember? There was one specific toy that came out. It was on that red line, that episode 1 line, and it was one of Darth Maul's droids, and it would shoot foam discs at you, and you had to deflect it with a lightsaber. And if you moved around the room, the droid would follow you and shoot at you. Still
Wow.
the coolest freaking Star Wars toy. I think. I mean, it was gorgeous.
That's legit.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. That's cool though.
I'll see if I can find one. I'll send it to you. They're not expensive, and that's the funny thing about that Phantom Menace line. It sells like sequel toys. Like there's just nobody's buying this shit. I bought a line of like 24 Phantom Menace figures for like $175.
It's not bad.
It was cheap. They're selling about $10 a pop, so I got a good deal on it. I'm not gonna turn around and sell them ever. So yeah, happy boy.
Yeah.
What about you, Obsession? What's your? I mean, you're an Ahsoka duder.
I don't really collect a lot of figurines per se. It's kind of all over the place, dude. Helmets, Legos. Just depends on what catches my eye.
Of course you do, John.
Yeah, I don't really collect a lot of figurines.
Well, we're just talking about toys in general. Anything Star Wars.
Helmets, I love the helmet line. The
Black
Series line.
Yep,
dude, they're for the money.
Yeah, I've gotten all mine cheap. But yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the Lego stuff. I think the Lego stuff has come a long way in the last 5 years.
It's come a long way on the price line too.
Yeah.
Is that a PS5 back behind you, Obsession?
Yep.
That's
Sweet.
worth one half of a Star Destroyer from Lego.
Well, and I have a couple sets that I haven't built yet, but I've kept my eye out for like the big Star Destroyers or the Republic gunship, stuff that you can't get your hands on. I don't care what the boxes look like, but I like getting those that are in the bags.
If I'm gonna store it, screw it.
I'm gonna hang all mine.
There's a great company called, I don't know if it's Lepin or Lepin or I don't know, Lepin. Matt Risman loves that company.
Really?
Lego knockoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay, nice. I mean, it's molded plastic. It's not like you can fake it, really.
It's the same thing. Lepin, Lego, no difference.
I wanted to give a big shout out really quick to Quentin Time Podcast, long friend of the channel, awesome dude. I've done a couple podcasts with, actually I didn't do a couple. I did one podcast with Quentin and it was an absolutely amazing show. If you haven't already, pop over, subscribe to Quentin. Absolutely awesome dude. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, I just try to grab stuff that's I got a signed R2 that I'm sending in to get graded. So yeah, I've got a lot of little random pieces that I find and I just, I pick them up. No rhyme or reason.
I started changing my collecting strategy from like get every figure from every line on card back, which is so funny because I never collected card back. I'm like, why would you keep your figures inside the bubble? It makes no sense. Like you want them out. Now I have an entire fucking wall full of card back bubble figures. And then I started to get some exclusive ones. So like when I got the Razor Crest from Star Wars Santa, it came with 2 figures that you can't get anywhere else. And one of them was the Grogu in a chrome pram. I'm like, you can't buy that anywhere. You can't get that figure unless you bought that, $500 freaking Razor Crest. And so now all of a sudden I'm like, I need to start getting all these really obscure, like, release only card backs. And I think that's where my heart is now, trying to find the unreachables.
I want those Kenobi sabers, the three legacy sabers. I'd like to get those.
But the electronics are so bad.
I know. Still though, I like the look of that 3-box, the Padawan.
The box is gorgeous.
Just the whole set, just as a display, I think it looks great.
Nerds, do you have a saber yet?
I don't.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah.
Pick one from back there. You're not allowed to pick that one.
Pick anyone from back there, but not that one, or that one.
You can't pick the Luke and you can't pick the Master replicas, but any of the other ones, like just pick one.
All right. Well, in my last 30 seconds here, I'm gonna pick Ray's saber that you have back there.
That's actually not up there, unfortunately.
Well, you got to buy it for me because
no, I'm not gonna do that. But you got to pick one of the 4.
They all just look like hilts from here.
They are in fact saber hilt. So your observational skills are, as always, sharp.
Yeah. You want me to pick one right now?
Yeah.
Number 3.
This one?
Number 3 from the center. That one, yeah.
That one? Good
That
choice. Good choice. That's
My
one of the
mana
first ones I
paste.
got. Love that one. It's a baselit. Sorry, it's not NeoPixel, but it's good little saber. Good little saber. Okay.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I got to take off, but it's a good time.
Yeah, I don't know who you are or how you got the link, but I really appreciate you coming on the channel.
I just found it on a Disney shill forum, and
nobody's supposed to know who that is.
That's exactly where I posted it. Perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
Wait, you're friends with Raised Underbridges 2142?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, you're George Lucas's sock. I knew it. I appreciate you coming on. It's been a long time, buddy. We've known each other a long time. We started our little YouTube journey together.
We did, yeah. It's a trip.
So it's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is going on good with the move. And I miss the little apprentice. You give him my best.
He's a full-on child now, dude. It's a trip.
Really?
Talks.
You remember when he stole a desk stick once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, buddy. Love you. Good to see you. Take care of yourself.
See you
Everybody,
guys.
See ya.
go subscribe to 2 Star Wars Nerds. One of my favorite people on the internet.
Oh, thanks. All right. See you guys.
Take care, buddy. And then there were 3.
Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars toys, I think this is going to be my next purchase.
I'm going to make something that's going to put that to shame.
You're going to make something?
Yeah, it's going to put that to shame very soon. I'm looking forward to it. Have you ever heard of Boyle Hobby Time?
No.
Okay. When you get a chance after this, go look up Boyle Hobby Time. He's a YouTube channel. And he wires in LED filaments to make like really nice Star Wars dioramas. You got to check it out.
Oh, I think I've seen him before.
Yeah, and I'm going to do an Endor scene with the scout bike with the yellow blasts from the bottom of the scout bike. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
but you have to order the
this guy.
filaments from China, so it's going to be a month before they even get here.
Yeah, didn't he do a Super Star Destroyer?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but
Oh,
you guys
no,
entertain each other for a second. I got to use the little girls.
All right. Yeah, he's the one that did the X-wing shooting the TIE fighters and one of the TIE fighter wings blowing up. Yeah,
it looks cool. It's
yeah, he does some cool stuff for sure.
It's definitely going to take time if you don't know, if you're not doing it all the time. I hope he does it live because that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
listening to him put it together is going to be a good time. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff out there. There's a lot of build your own toys. I think he was working on an R2 droid for a while. I think he was waiting for the next set of parts. But there's a lot of those DIY toy sets out there. And I mean, Hot Toys stuff is just fire. It just looks so awesome. Like they do a really good job with their stuff.
Yeah, they it wasn't this Boyle Hobby Time that X-Wing was talking about, but there's another guy I saw that did a Super Star Destroyer and a Star Destroyer with all the fiber optic lighting and stuff on the inside of it and all that, and the engines and then when they turn the lights off, I'm like, golly, man, that looks bad ass.
Yeah, they started doing that with Lego sets too. You can get lighting kits for these like Super Star Destroyers or these gunships.
I wonder how hard that is to do, like those lighting kits.
I don't think they're hard because I think they're designed to be done after it's built. I thought it's like an add-on, so I think it's just in like really easy places that you can take a part off here, take a part off there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're insanely difficult to install the lighting kits after, because I mean, if I was building something that big and it needed to be done while I was doing it, I would want that to be illustrated.
Yeah.
So, but the ones that have the lighting kits on them look awesome.
Yeah, I saw one where they did a Lego set that that lit up for the Imperial shuttle.
Oh yeah,
Man, I sent so many invites out to so many people. I'm a little hurt that none of these people showed up. I mean, I'll be over it here in about 5 minutes, but
for all the people that aren't traveling, I mean, if you're traveling, then you got an excuse because you're probably stuck somewhere.
I think I'll be okay. But I did want to. I just lost my train of thought. I had something and I completely forgot what it was. I apologize.
Okay, it happens.
We were talking about
We're talking about toys.
Yeah, in
I'm talking about your sculptures
in the light up kits.
Yeah, I got the okay, here, hold on. Let me get the link in here. You know what I can do? You know what? Why don't we just open it up? Whatever. Get some Star Wars fans in here. Let's make it a community stream now that the creators decided they didn't want to show up. We'll just make it a community stream. Did it show up in chat?
Yep.
It always tells me that we're having trouble connecting. Please check your internet. And then it shows up in chat. It's really odd. But yeah, Nick, I'm gonna be doing the boile stuff, and the one that I have right now is do you remember the Tantive hallway scene that Hasbro started selling?
Yeah.
So I have all those 3 3/4. I have the stormtroopers and I have the rebels, and so I'm gonna do the hallway scene, and I'm gonna do it like way too over the top. So there's gonna be a stormtrooper like back at the door with a little LED diode in his chest that's gonna have a little cotton that's kind of painted black, so it looks like he's smoldering, and then a bunch of lasers going back and forth across the Tantive hallway. It's gonna be so sick.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really pumped to see this thing. But I think the one I'm most excited about is going to be the Endor swoop bike.
Toy wise, I want that. They're so expensive and they're so hard to find. The Target exclusive Imperial shuttles. You guys
did they release an Imperial shuttle?
Yeah, it was a Target exclusive. It was back in like 2009 or something, I think.
The only one I remember is the big one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The big one.
The really big one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure this guy has one.
You got one of those Imperial shuttles, John? You know what I'm talking about? The ginormous Target exclusive.
The Target one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah, check this out, Nick. So my brother took a 3D print that his
buddy
made.
Badass.
And he cast it in pewter, so you can see the bottom's all messed up because he cast it in raw pewter. And then he blued the skull, so it's a different color. And you can see the hole where he had to drain it through. Isn't that sick? This thing weighs like 10 pounds.
Freaking nice. One of the coolest looking paperweights I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's the sickest paperweight in the world, man. I absolutely love that thing. John Graber, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You're our foremost expert on Star Wars collecting. As many channels as we have and as much time that we spend on the internet, you have a absolute freaking vault. You're one step behind Rancho Obi-Wan.
Oh, I don't know about that. I like it. I like it a lot.
What's your favorite piece in the whole collection?
I probably that Imperial shuttle, actually.
Let's see it.
I want one of those.
All right.
Oh, we're going on a tour, kids. This is special. You don't get to see this often.
Hold on to your horses.
You gotta turn it around so we can see the whole freaking gnarly basement.
No, it's upstairs.
Oh, it's upstairs. I thought it was the
Attic.
basement.
Oh no.
Oh, it's the attic. I always called you a
Oh
basement
no, it's a
nerd.
2-story. It's upstairs.
So there's a small portion of it. There's 2 tie interceptors.
There's
There's
the,
tie advanced.
Yeah. What is the one on the left? Is that the Target
it's
exclusive?
Target one. That's the original one that I painted actually because it got discolored real bad.
Okay.
Is that one of the HasLab Razor Crests?
Yep.
So you can see how big that Lambda class shuttle is next to that Razor Crest. It's huge. It's massive.
And then my
You're gonna
gunship.
send me one, right?
I have you know what? Here, I have a whole box right here.
Still waiting on the shipment.
I
haven't
know,
seen it.
and I feel bad. Every time I feel bad, I go and buy you more stuff.
He's gonna send me the first vintage collection and all cardboard. It's gonna make me vomit, but I'm really excited for it.
I got you Obi-Wan.
Oh, yay!
All right, this you have to open because this is a very, very, very nice figure.
Obi-Wan.
I got you that.
Oh, I like that. That's a retro.
Did you get him a Reva? Please tell me there's a Reva in there.
Please don't
I
be
got-
a Reva in there.
And Jaren,
Nice. That's a good figure.
Yeah, I like that
the
one.
Emperor.
I have that one. Save
Yeah,
it.
I got that one too.
Just talk.
Throw in a different one. Give me a Reva.
IG-88.
Nice. 88 or 11?
11. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Boba.
Because I know how you like Boba Fett.
Oh, love it.
Bo-Katan.
I don't have the bow.
And then the Ultimate or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. I'm gonna hang that one up in
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Hey.
Yeah, I even got the packing stuff in there.
Reva.
Reva.
Fastest
I'm gonna
ever.
cherish that. You know where that's going? It's going right next to my holdo.
Nice.
Yeah,
I respect
love
that.
it.
What
I'm
else you want?
very excited. Very excited. I mean, if you, I'll probably just take that Lambda class, throw that in there. I could use an LAAT too, so maybe throw one of those in there.
Yeah.
I already have one of the Razor Crests, but if you want to throw that thing in there, just throw that thing in there. I'll take one of the AT-ATs.
I'm grabbing stuff.
Can you stick a TIE Interceptor in there too? I'll take one of those. That'd be
I'll
awesome.
buy a couple of those.
Love a TIE Interceptor.
I have 1, 2.
Any Master Replica Sabers, if you want to get rid of some of those, just throw those in there.
Well, I have the FX ones.
You got any
Yeah, I
tie?
don't want any
You
of
got
those.
any tie bombers, John?
Oh, that one's good.
You
I
got
only
the tie
have one.
bomber?
He's got the advanced TIE. I don't think he has the TIE Bomber.
Oh yeah, I do.
He's still like,
Oh,
yeah, I
there
do.
it is.
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Of course I do.
Yeah, I'm a tie. I'm a tie.
You have
guy.
way too many, dude. So many interceptors. Just send me like 2 of them.
Oh wait, do you see my gunships? I have a problem with gunships too.
Yeah, no, I can solve that. Yeah, just send like maybe 2 or 3 of those. What else can we do? Maybe one of the Mandalorian fighters.
I got that.
Yeah, we can round that up.
Yep.
I think that sounds okay.
501st Legion.
Yeah, need that one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm keeping that one then. Heavy
Yeah.
Assault Trooper.
Yeah, need that one. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, I'm keeping that one.
Are you shopping here?
Shadow Guards.
I've got that one.
All right.
Wait, is that a 3.75 or 6?
3 3/4. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it in 3 3/4.
You want one of those?
Yeah, I could use one.
All right. Now I'm gonna mail it now. I can't fit any more in there.
Stick it in your carry-on.
Oh, that was I don't know what she was thinking that night. We were all gonna go to Reno one night.
We're gonna have to trade here when you get here. You're gonna get all Phantom Menace figures.
I love him. That's one of my
99 Jar Jars. That's what you're gonna get.
favorites.
Don't ask me why I have 99 Jar Jars.
I want the Jar Jar mask. The full
Oh, my
size.
son has that.
I
Go to
want,
Alibaba, dude. AliExpress, they have it.
I want it
They
real
have
bad.
it, and they have the really
Talking about
creepy
the-
Darth Maul mask.
You're talking
too.
about the rubber, the full
Oh, yeah.
rubber.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well,
I
yeah,
want it
parties,
so
and
bad.
all of a
It's
sudden
like the
Jar Jar
horse
was there.
mask.
It's
Send me a link.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Send me a link.
so
I want
fun.
it so bad. I
creepy as
look.
shit.
I want it.
It'll take 3 months to get here,
I don't
but
give
you'll
a
order
shit.
it and then
I
it's
want
on the way.
I want it so bad. I have plans for that thing.
And then I broke my big.
What do you
hat
mean you have plans for it?
Oh, I got
I
plans.
feel like that's creepy as
I
fuck.
want it so bad. You guys are gonna love it's so.
I'm gonna be asleep one night. I'm gonna look out my window and fucking Jar Jar's just gonna be sitting outside the window
with a Gungan shield. You still need to wake up. Yes, Misa.
I love Jar Jar too, just so you know. I was always going to do a stream in defense of Jar Jar. That was always going to be my first YouTube stream, and I never did it yet.
Dude, and my best got so much shit.
Oh, I
frustrating.
want that mask. Send me if you know where to find it. Send me a link.
I'll send you a link for it. I mean, you can find them on eBay for dirt cheap, but
I'll
send you a
dude.
link.
I looked and looked and looked. I haven't found any. Not the full rubber, like the full. No.
Yeah. All right, we got some community members that are gonna pop in here. Rolo Lord and Dud Boy Steve, who was recently given the title of Wrench for the X-Men community.
He's vying for that position pretty hard. I'm glad he got it.
He was fighting for it, yeah. And I remember my days when I was fighting for Wrench position, and dude, the boy put down the effort, and he got rewarded.
Did you ask about PTO times and all that? That's important.
We'll work out the details when it comes to benefits and stuff like that, but we definitely took a hit on the budget. So, Dat Boy Steve, I want you to know that you are recognized and loved here in the X-Wing community because we took a hit. We took a hit, but you're worth it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I like your hat.
Thank you.
And we're also joined by Rolo Lord. By the looks of it, another collector. I see a Sideshow Grogu over there and a Black Series Stormtrooper helmet.
Yes, I've got my other Black Series in the other room, but I got I'm an earlier collector. I mean, I'm in the low end. I still have all my my figures and stuff like that from when I was a kid, but like the high end stuff, that's gonna be a little bit different. How's my sound coming through? Does it sound good?
It sounds soundy, so you're doing great.
Okay, good.
What are your childhood figures?
You guys were talking about the Phantom Menace line earlier. So when I was Phantom Menace in 99, so I was born 2000. So right before that, my parents got me a ton of figures before I was even born. And I have a lot of that first line. And then after that, ever since my dad showed me the movies when I was like 1 or 2, like, he just sat me down and was like, we're watching Star Wars. I don't care if you get to understand
what a dad.
Yeah. I remember one of my earliest memories is being like 2, just sitting in between his legs watching Phantom Menace. And so I got
get him on stream.
See, he's sleeping at the moment.
Wake his ass up.
I probably should, honestly. I think I'll see where he's at. But no, it was all those figures, basically all the prequel lines, any of the old figures he had. And it used to be a tradition where like if I was out, you know, when I was little, mom or dad sometimes would get me very soundy. Mom or dad or grandma or granddad would grab me I do have the Sebulba mask. I don't know where it's at. I was gonna show up with it and I couldn't find it.
I need a Sebulba figure because I have that. You remember the Sebulba pod racer they released? Yes. They did the Anakin and they did the Sebulba, and the Sebulba would always open up and the little like razor blades would come out. I don't have the figure for the Sebulba pod racer, and I need that figure because I think it'd be super dope to take that Sebulba pod racer that they made and modify it with some LEDs to make the power coupling.
Yeah, the power
and
coupling.
have that as like a dope diorama on some desert. That'd be so sick. Yeah, I need a John. Do you have an extra one?
All right, give me a second.
Do you have an extra Sebulba figure? I don't care if it's. I'm gonna take it out of card back. So if it's on card back, don't do it. But
yeah, it's mostly been figures for me for the longest time. All the old lines, and then now it's on to like saving up for sideshows every year. I get one pretty much.
Yeah, sideshows are boy, those are a pain in the ass. Really hurts you every time you look at one. It hurts you.
You know, when the Ahsoka and the Maul came out together for the Clone Wars season 7, I wanted them so bad. Especially with that box that Maul comes in. Looks awesome.
Obsession, have you seen the Ahsoka ring that's on AliExpress?
No.
I thought about buying you one. It's pretty dope, dude. So it's a ring but instead of being like just a solid ring, it's the 2 leku.
Oh,
And
that's
it,
cool.
yeah, and it kind of goes down your finger. It's so sick. I was like, fuck, I should buy one because you can buy 10 for like $1.40. So it's probably made of like plutonium or something like that, but they're really cool.
All right, so the one that comes with it looks like this.
That's a good one.
That has better coloring. That looks like this.
How many fucking Sebulbas do you have?
I don't know. This is my Tatooine box right here.
This is my Tatooine box.
Box. I love that.
Wow, he labels them the boxes by.
I laughed so hard it turned off my LEDs. I'm sorry.
Broke your LEDs is more like it.
Dude, I might have broken them.
It probably just came unplugged.
There we go.
There's half a Leia.
Half a Leia? Frickin' Tatooine box. Yeah, honestly, I mean, listening to the prequel gen, yeah, it's tough, man. I'm as much of the OT as I am of the prequel trilogy. I love both of them equally, and so it's tough. I'm considered of the prequel generation, but I think a lot of us in my age group, we consider ourselves like from the Star Wars generation. The OT came first for me because I didn't see the prequel trilogy until I was like 9 or 10, but I loved the OT before I saw the prequel trilogy. So it's tough. I love them both equally. I didn't have the negative reaction to the prequels that a lot of people did.
I think that I have a weird I'm in a weird space there where it's like the OT was out, so I was watching them all the time. But then at the same time, Revenge of the Sith hadn't come out yet by the time that I was understanding what Star Wars was. So at that point, when I'm 5 and Revenge of the Sith is out, at that point
you were 5?
Yeah.
I got some babies up in here.
I'm gonna be 6. I
was 18.
But I think the crazy part there is I was so like engrossed in all of Star Wars at that point. I didn't see it as like when I was that young as there's the prequel generation and the OT. For me, it was all Star Wars. Now I get it. But I'm older now, and I do have a definite like disconnect from the sequels. I'll tell you that. But I mean, to each their own. I still enjoy aspects, but let's just say X-Wing and I agree a lot on the sequels and Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett and things like that. But we're not going to get into that.
I would say a lot of the people who migrate their way to my channel probably feel fairly similar about most of that stuff. I don't know how the whole obsession got here. He's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm enjoying it.
It's so great. I'm old and I love the prequels. I love them.
This is my man here. This is my dude. I saw him hanging out of a window naked in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was like, this guy's gonna be my friend forever.
Love it.
And Mike, the Stan Chill Porter. I'm an original guy. I'm old. I'll be 60 in May.
Yeah, I'm an OT guy too.
Dude, Mike. I mean, I've been with you for a minute. Been through it with everything you've been through. I appreciate you being around. Appreciate you being a part of the community. Always appreciate you being around. John also bought me a steak. Let's not forget that.
There you go.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember it.
I have a tough time remembering it. That was a really long night.
How big was that bill?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a hotel steak, so it was like $64 for 2 of them. But
the
he also
hotel
bought
food
like
there actually wasn't bad.
He bought like a handle of rum for everybody at the same time too. Yeah. So we didn't walk out of there feeling good. That's what I'll tell you. The next morning was rough.
See, that's my problem. I don't get hangovers.
Yeah, I pretty much stayed drunk pretty much the whole time that I was there.
I did too until the morning. I had to get on my flight, and then I was laying in the hotel lobby like,
yeah.
They stuck me on my suitcase and they rolled me out to the taxi. Darth Arlena's like, you poor baby.
And I had a 4-hour drive home.
Yeah. Did I put out for the steak dinner?
Well, yeah.
You'll never know. You'll never know.
No judging. No judging.
Oh, you lost somebody.
I'll put him back in. That's fine.
We
didn't see Coach. You know, yesterday, Coach and I. Are you heading out, buddy?
Yeah, I got to jump.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Nice to meet you,
Chicken,
Obsession.
chicken, chow. Yeah, so Coach and I were supposed to have this like big long stream last night where we were going to start at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go until 11 o'clock at night, and then he never did anything. What happened? And then he didn't show up tonight. Nick?
I have no idea. He sent me a text earlier. He worked on some videos. I woke up and got a text from him. That was at like 7 o'clock. He did start Breaking Bad, so he probably got caught
That's
up
why
watching
he didn't
that.
show up to the stream. He's watching fucking Breaking Bad. What a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you say 3 to 11?
Yeah.
3 to 11.
Yeah, it was going to be an 8-hour stream.
What the hell are we going to talk about?
Star Wars.
For 8 hours?
What do you think I've been doing for the past 2 years? Yeah, we talk about it for 8 hours. No problem, dude. We can bang that out easily. Easily. Ryan Kennel was supposed to pop up and say what's up, but I know he's busy. We finally got the stuff handled with that. What's that lady's name? Kathia Woods.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that whole controversy and my channel got the copyright strike and all that?
Yep.
You got a copyright strike?
Yeah.
Yes. She hunted my channel down and gave me a copyright strike.
No way.
Yeah. And so we had to go approach. So I was talking to Ryan about it, and he's like, dude, don't worry. Like, we're going to get this. We're going to get this handled. And so handed me literally a full-blown essay with everything that needed to be in it. We submitted it today. So it'll be 10 days. But believe you me, the second that video gets put back up, I'm going to be talking about it for a second because it really pissed me off because I didn't go very hard on this lady, but she's the kind of moron that makes YouTubing difficult. You know what I mean?
I don't even know who this is. Cynthia Woods?
Kathia.
Woods. I found out about it through Ryan. I think Ryan was talking about it on a live stream, and then I went and checked and saw your video down.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot. So, excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm not a very negative person. I stay away from negativity on YouTube for the most part, but this person's an absolute moron. So, she put out a tweet talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. And said
the black
really
film
upset.
critic lady.
Yeah.
She was really upset that there wasn't representation for blue people. I'm like, you're an idiot. There are no blue people on the planet. And then there was this whole thing that came out of that, and it was like, oh, Ryan Kennel and Geeks and Gamers, they're a bunch of racist idiots and blah blah blah. And so I made a video that didn't touch on anything in politics, didn't touch on anything on any of those like push button topics. She tracked my video down and freaking copyright struck my channel, and so she didn't know I was friends with like the the people who are used to dealing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I messaged her. I'm like, hey, look, we got something to do here. So we got it handled. Hopefully we have it handled. And then within a week or two, we'll get that done. And then Ryan and I are going to hop on a stream and talk about this absolute plank of a human being.
Awesome. I can't wait for that one.
It's gonna be a little bit of a departure from what I usually do on this channel, but I'm allowed to get like actually mad every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean it's your channel too. And
so we're gonna talk about Kathia.
I think that that video essay or that essay to get out that Ryan sent you. I mean that's the one that Gary uses too from Neurotic. They all use that same type of thing.
Well, hopefully it works. I mean, it should work if
it seems like it does. I've heard them speak about it before.
I've never made a shit post before, and the fact that human tried to like hunt down my channel is just adorable.
Yeah, I mean that's how you know, dude. Like
she didn't hit any of these other channels that did videos.
Isn't that weird? And everything I did in there follows clear and straight under the guidelines of fair use. So there's no way it doesn't get reversed. I'm gonna have a tea party when it comes back up.
It's gonna be a fun one too, especially with Ryan.
He's a good dude. I'll be honest with you. You know, I've had the chance to meet like a couple of YouTubers, bigger YouTubers who they act like really nice people when they're on screen, and then you get to talk to them and they're just not very nice people. I'll tell you right now, like
I'm one of them.
Drunk 3PO, Ryan Kennel, John Graber's not one of them, but you know, some of the bigger guys, and when you get to talk to them, they really are really genuinely good people. They really want to, you know, they're good people. That's the bottom line. And Ryan Kinnell, honestly, after all the shit that I've seen with him on Twitter and everybody talking about him and all this different stuff, and he's just a hate clickbaiter and all that different kind of stuff like that. Dude's a really good guy. Really good guy. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Like, say what you want about those certain YouTubers and things like that, and you might not agree with everything they have to say. God knows I don't agree with everything they have to say, but I like them because they're genuine people, and I can tell they're good people.
Yeah.
You get that sense from Ryan, even though there's like, yeah, whatever. It's Ryan Kennel, you know, that's what everyone says. But you still get the sense when you actually watch him and give him a chance. Yeah, he's a good dude, especially when you watch streams, Friday Night Tights, things like that. You see that they're good people.
This is a really interesting one too, because Luke Skywalker is big. He's a big Twitter guy, so all over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Disney doesn't like him. Anything I try on here is removed. That's insane to me. Like, all this guy does is post inspirational shit every single morning. So when I wake up, I see like Luke Skywalker in the morning. Hey, remember to be a good person. You can always change. All these awesome different things.
I wouldn't be surprised if Disney didn't like him. It's too positive.
The truly negative people in this world shit on everything that is gold.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line. It sucks. It stinks. I want people to find common ground. I started this channel, you know, with mostly a positive outlook on Star Wars. I knew what I was getting into because obviously the sequels had happened. But I wanted to be happy. I wanted people to be happy about Star Wars, but as long as this has gone on, I have started to get more negative about Star Wars, and so I'm posting less. I'm talking less because I don't want to spread a bunch of, you know, negativity into Star Wars. I don't want to make a bunch of videos that are just shit posts and, you know, drag people down. That's not where my head's at. So
that's why I'm skipping Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah, I'm in a really rough spot right now. I don't know what to do.
I'll be reviewing it.
I want to see videos from me, but I'm like, I have nothing good to say, so I'm just not going to say it.
I am looking forward to it.
I got a weekly podcast with my buddy. I know he's going to want to review it, so I'm reviewing that.
Well, I hope Bad Batch absolutely kills it.
Me too.
I hope it's amazing, because I would love to make a video and just be like, yo, 6 Star Wars content. Let's talk about it.
I can tell you it's not.
You don't know yet, Nick.
I do know.
I was going to say Nick might know.
It's absolutely going to suck balls.
You don't know that yet.
I 100% know that.
Yeah, misery loves company. That's the name of the game sometimes with YouTube, man. It's the name of the game. And you know what? I don't necessarily have a problem with that, you know? I wouldn't mind doing a Tuesday, hey, fuck the sequel stream, and we can all talk about how mad we are about the sequels and just get it out of our systems and then, you know, live the rest of the week being fine. It's, for me, that's completely fine. But I'm sure we'd all be called, you know, racist assholes or whatever the case may be. But you know,
I got my sequel hate out of my system already.
You made a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I still haven't seen the movie yet.
You still haven't watched seen our sequel trilogy documentary?
No. You remember remember we were in the parking lot in Nashville and you handed me that DVD?
Uh-huh.
Somebody stole it. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, fucking bastards.
Yeah, somebody stole the DVD. I got it for free, so somebody was like, well, I'll take it for free.
Yeah, and we actually had to we actually had to mute some sections on the YouTube video of it.
You get a little fresh?
Yeah, and the thing is, I probably should have just fought it and not muted it, because now it's like kind of jacked the video up.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, editing is a real bitch, man.
Yeah, but I have the full unedited version on Rumble. I'll send you a link to that one, and you can just save it.
Here's an interesting comment here. I'll always be positive even through the dark times, but Disney asked me to promote Rise of Skywalker. I said no, since I wasn't happy with it and they only wanted positive reviews. You just made me love you so much more. That's awesome, dude. That's good. That's good, because the most important thing, I think, when it comes to Star Wars fans nowadays, I mean, we sit here and we have these conversations. We talk about what's really important to us as Star Wars fans, and we have to look back and say, where were you on the side of history when Star Wars made a change or didn't? I want to be on the right side. And there is not a single doubt in my mind that even if I have to be negative, I have to shit on some things. I have to talk about things that are going to make me lose subscribers. There are going to be people that are mad at me in the comments and shit like that. I know what Star Wars is. I've felt it in my bones since I was 8 years old. I know exactly what Star Wars is. And so when something shitty comes out, you can't expect me to shill for it and just say, yeah, I'm super happy with it because I love Star Wars. I know what Star Wars is. And we haven't had it for a long time. So we need it back. And I'm not going to shut up.
I want to touch on that because, like I said earlier, the way growing up the way I was, I've known Star Wars my entire life. And I think that video that you posted the other day, man, that hit me like right here because it's exactly how I feel about it.
Bro, I got teary making that video.
It's not always the spaceship or the lightsabers or all that. It's that feeling, man. Like, that's what I get. Like, when I'm sitting there, me personally, when I watch A New Hope or Empire or Revenge of the Sith, like, those are my three favorite. I can watch them over and over again, and I'm always going to get that feeling. Like, I could finish Revenge of the Sith and go and watch Revenge of the Sith right over again. It's still, like, one of those movies, man. Like, it's that heart, that feeling of this whole entire saga and all the connections and these important things. I don't know. It's really beautiful. Like you said.
There's something about it. It's almost like a long lost family member, right? Like an old uncle that you've known for a long time that taught you so much about life. You know, it's somebody that you confided in, somebody that you knew when you were younger. You watched it and it told you about life and it taught you how to be a human. And then it's almost like watching your uncle like go into drugs and alcohol, and you're like, yeah, I love my uncle, but like, what is he doing?
It's so funny you say that because I've actually described it like that to a friend before. I've gone, it's like Star Wars is family. Everything from the planets to the feeling of it, it's like family to me. And watching it go where it's gone is like seeing a friend go down the wrong path in a way.
The dark side.
That's exactly how it felt.
Star Wars is going down a dark path for me. It's giving in to greed and evil. It's giving into the easy way. You know, I mean, that was always the lesson that Star Wars taught us: is don't take the easy route, take the hard route. You know, even if you have to fight through it and people don't like it, whatever the case may be, take the hard route and do the right thing. And Star Wars itself is actually falling to the exact fucking problem that they laid out in the original movies. It's taken the route of the dark side. And so it's really hard for me to be a Star Wars content creator. And, you know, people want me to be happy about stuff and make happy videos and talk about, oh my God, the next thing that Ahsoka is going to come out with. But it's really tough for me to do that. I can't be excited for something I don't believe in.
Exactly. I think Ahsoka's going to be the final breaking point for me.
Well, hopefully it's fucking amazing.
I sounds like right now I'm liking the leaks that I'm hearing from Making Star Wars and Meg and people like that. I'm liking it. But it's like that's the last character they have for me that they're making a show on that I'm like, you did it to Boba, you did it to Kenobi. Like, I've got a Kenobi hot toy in the other room. Like, that's my favorite character ever. Like, that's unforgivable.
Devil Actual wins comment of the night from all the methane.
That's great.
Summer H, I felt this way about Star Wars Disney since the Y2K. Dude, I was in Disney World during Y2K. So it was the changeover from 1999 to 2000. And I was actually riding Star Tours when they thought the world was going to end. I was like, dude, if I'm going to die, I'm doing it on Star Tours. The world didn't end. But yeah, I want to. So the most important thing for me is I want to get away from what are you doing here? I'm going to pull that up in a second. The biggest thing I want to get away from is wanting Star Wars projects to fail before they come out.
Yes.
So for me, I mean, like, I want to give everything a fair shake. I look at Acolyte and there's a big part of me that's like, fuck that show. I want it to fail. I want it to fail. I don't like Leslie Headland. I don't like the High Republic. I don't like the over-characterized, gnarly, super bright color bullshit. They're wearing, you know, bows and arrows like it's freaking cowboys versus Indians. What the fuck are you doing?
It's like the 8Ks in Andor.
You never know. Maybe it's a great show. You never know. That's one that I kind of want to fail. I remember when Andor was coming out, I wanted that to succeed. And so I have to take a look at myself as a Star Wars fan and be like, I want Star Wars to succeed. I don't want projects to come out and for me to immediately be like, this shit is going to suck. Everybody act like this is going to suck. Let's hate it. Let's just shove it into the ground. Like, maybe it'll do something good. Maybe.
Well, I think
And if it sucks, I'm going to fucking rip it until it has no assholes left to rip.
Right.
Believe me.
I think it goes back to the whole Mandalorian season 2 controversy at the end after what happened, because Mando brought a lot of people back.
Dude, Mando was almost the whole reason I started my channel. Almost the whole reason. Because I felt like finally, for a moment, we were back.
Yep, that's how it felt. Like around the whole community, even people that like hated the sequels or people that hated the prequels, even
we were slapping hands and we were shaking fives and smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey.
Great.
Like,
It was like we were all together collectively, like this is fun. And then Mando season 2 ends. Disney, quite frankly, shits the bed with that, and then it split the fandom up right again.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? So before you play this clip, really quick, it's important to take stock of why that moment happened. Why was that so impactful? Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched EBN's video on it again. Every time, I gotta say, Nick, every single time I watch the reaction video you guys have of all the fans reacting.
Oh yeah.
Time, because I was sitting here at 3:00 in the morning with my dog going, "Do you see this? It's Luke Skywalker."
You know what I was doing? I was fixing a furnace inside of an attic, and I was watching a double live play of Star Wars Theory crying his brains out, and then I was watching the side view of Luke coming back, and I was like, dude, we felt again. We felt again. We saw it again. We felt, and it was amazing.
And John Favreau and Mark Hamill watched that video of ours too.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
All right, what's up with Rob's observations?
This clip right here was on.
I love RMB, by the way.
Was on the subject of what you guys were talking about earlier, and this is from our documentary, and this is one of the best clips in the entire documentary. It's on the aftermath section.
Did you see RMB got called racist by some asshole on Twitter?
Yeah, freaking Matt Jarbo, who's a complete douchebag,
who put out a tweet that literally said, "I don't believe all black people are N-words."
Yeah,
but when
he's
I
an
think
idiot.
of this person, I think of N-word. Like, you moron.
Yeah, but this is just a quick take from, and this is just part of his take. There's more of it later on, but I'm just going to play this first part. It's short.
I would invite Matt Jarbo to talk to me.
Overall, I think that the Star Wars has been a tremendous disappointment because, unfortunately, it was the first time where corporate interests were more important than an individual man's creative vision. It's a fact of life that when a corporation like Disney buys your product, Disney was buying Star Wars with the express purpose of selling it to the most amount of people on multiple platforms. Theme parks, apparel, toys, and then, of course, movies and TV shows. But when you do that, that means that a corporation's interests always come before the truth of the story that you want to be telling. And I think that's no way to make films.
But if people were to allow...
100%.
I love Rob, dude.
Yeah. Oh, and I put the link for the full unedited version of the documentary in the private chat, X1.
Oh, I see.
I mean, it boils back down to what George did when it came to Empire. it literally trickles all the way back to what George said when he was going to make, he made A New Hope. He was going to move into Empire. He was going to move into Return. He said the most important thing was that I didn't have studio interference. I wanted this to be my film. I didn't want studios interfering with the story that I was trying to tell. And a lot of people don't know that was a big portion of him making those movies, was that I was able to finance the movies that I wanted to make because of the toy sales from the original Star Wars, from Star Wars, not A New Hope, from Star Wars.
That was the smartest decision he ever made. He's like,
and he funded the prequels.
He's like, I don't want any money. I just want toy sales.
Toy rights. Smart.
Yep, he helped fund the prequels with the special editions, all the new toys, the new Power of the Force 2 lines, and all that.
Don't make fun of my buff figures.
Yeah.
I have one of the old ones. I have the old He-Man Lando body.
Dude, I love the He-Man figures.
Yeah, me too.
They'll stay on Carback forever, but I love the He-Man figures.
Mine's not even in. That's the problem. It's like somebody was going through their house. Like, I have all these old Star Wars figures. You want them? It's like, you sure you don't want to go through them? See if you could make some cash off of any of them. No, you take them. I was like, this one's 1985. I'll take that. Thank you.
And he did. I mean, that was the other thing, was that there were so many people at the early ILM studio that were so ridiculously innovative and creative, that helped him achieve the vision that was completely unattainable.
Yeah.
I mean, he asked them to do things that would never be possible, and then he came after him, was like, deadline, make it happen. And they're like, what the fuck do you want me to do? This technology doesn't exist. But they figured out how to do it. And that absolute creativity, that perseverance, it bled into the films. And I think that's why it is so timeless, why it is so perfect, is because of everything they had to do to make the movie. And then also George's ability to tell a story that is timeless, that does transcend kind of time. It transcends race, it transcends gender, it transcends all the stuff that we're obsessed with, in 2022, and tells us a story that we can sit and enjoy no matter who you are, where you come from.
Absolutely. And I think whether you're a Star Wars fan or not, I dare anybody to sit down and watch A New Hope and not find something about it that you connect with or enjoy.
Right.
I dare you. I doubt anyone could find a, like, you might hate sci-fi or whatever, but at least there's going to be an aspect of it that you go, I dig that, or I connected with that, and that made me feel something. It's time.
That boy Steve, stop talking. All right. I almost thought about ending the stream right there. It would be like the most perfect ending to a stream. He opens up his mouth. Yeah. Click. But anyway,
I'm just listening before I say something.
Okay, well, get to it.
Well, to kind of go off topic, one of the things that you're talking about before is how you want to be more positive, or like you don't want to seem like that type of dude who is negative. In my opinion, I don't, on your own channel or like your own Twitter or whatever, I think you should be able to say whatever you feel about Star Wars without being judged for that. The issue I have is that when people, say it's good or bad, they kind of attack somebody for having an opposite opinion. And that's what I think is stupid. If you love it, love it. If somebody else doesn't like it, let them not like it, and vice versa. If you don't like something somebody does, don't say, oh, you're not a real fan, you're fake and all that. I don't think that type of stuff that people do makes sense. If people like it, let them like it. If they don't like it, don't let them like it.
Agreed.
Fully agree.
The conversation shouldn't be about the people that don't like it. The conversation should be about the content.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. This is for me. I don't like this. This isn't for me. Just and go from there. Don't be like, oh, you don't like it? Oh, that's because you're this and that. Oh, you like it? Yeah, you probably haven't been a fan long enough.
Yeah.
So that's where that whole, one of my least favorite words in Star Wars is gatekeeping.
Yes.
Like, What do you mean gatekeeping? So a YouTuber says like you don't understand this part of Star Wars, so they're not like allowed to read a book, or they're not allowed. There's no gate. There's no such thing as a gate. You can read whatever the fuck you want. You're more than welcome to pick up any book, watch any oh god, here he is. One of the worst gatekeepers in the world, AD Edits, here in the chat. Yeah, I've never understood that kind of weird attitude towards Star Wars where like I'm a fledgling Star Wars fan, but this YouTuber said that I'm not a real Star Wars fan, so now I can't be one. What the fuck?
Wait, the content's all there. You
just fucking read it.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
You've read 9 High Republic books. Would it kill you to pick up one Old Republic book and then tell me which one's better?
Right.
For real? Like,
and that's the other thing too, is you don't have to pick, Legends or, what Disney's doing now. You can like both. Like, I like both. I'm not going to lie. The only Star Wars experience I had before Disney bought Star Wars was just watching the movies when they came on TV, really. But then, in 2012, I started getting into buying books and comics. But I was also buying the Legend stuff, too. You can love both, and I love both.
Call it Legends. Oh, it's the expanded universe. Jester's Darth Arlena, my girl, Darth Arlena, the one who wheeled me out on the here. Darth Arlena, love you, sweetie. Glad to see you here. So yeah, I just don't understand. I shouldn't say decanonized. A lot of people say they decanonized the Legends or the expanded universe. And they're so mad because there's no source material. Those are two completely different things. Right. So people blame Kathleen Kennedy for decanonizing the EU. Misguided. Completely misguided. It was never technically canon. But it was accepted within the fan base that it was, right? So everything that Zahn did with the Heir to the Empire, it was considered canon. And so when it was quote unquote decanonized, we blame her for that. But I have to ask you guys as Star Wars fans who you guys, Nick, obviously you make content. Coach basically drags you along sometimes. He's like, come on, let's talk about this.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Do you think Disney would be better suited to dive into Legends content, or would they be better off trying to tell new stories post-sequel trilogy era? Nick, start with you. We can roundtable, and anybody, if he says something stupid, jump on him.
I don't trust them to come up with new stories and new ideas.
Do you trust them to handle Legends content?
Well, I'm getting ready to get there also. But I also don't trust them to do the Legends material. But the thing is, the writing is all already there. So as long as they don't change it, and they just basically take a lot of the Legends material and just turn it into filmable scripts and film it for what it actually is, and don't go in and change it up to make it their own, then I think that would be fine. But it's Disney, and they would probably screw it all up. But yeah, I don't really trust them to really do anything right at this point. The only thing I'm looking forward to that I think even has potential of being decent is Mando season 3 in Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
You're excited for Ahsoka?
I'm interested in checking it out. I'm
interested. No, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Definitely excited.
I'm not excited because I'm not a huge Ahsoka fan, but I like Rosario Dawson's portrayal of the character from what I've seen in Mando in the 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett.
I think she did great.
Yeah, I did too. So I'm interested in checking that out. Like Bad Batch season 2, I have zero interest in watching a single episode of that horse shit. Like none of it. I don't want to see Omega, or any of that little stupid cartoon.
But you love Omega. I have a shirt that says Nick loves Omega in my drawer.
Worst
You telling me that shirt's
character
lying?
of all time. I hate Omega. I thought she completely ruined that show.
If that shirt's lying, then I want a refund from Echo Base Network.
Yeah.
Because it clearly says Nick loves Omega.
Yeah, it's a joke because it's the opposite's actually true.
Thank you for clarifying that, Nick. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Not like you didn't already know, but for the people out there that didn't.
All right, Rello, what about you, buddy?
All right, so for me, I think I'd rather them right now keep doing their own thing because I don't want them touching any of the EU. I don't want them touching Old Republic right now. I don't want them touching any of the original characters that we love right now, save for Ahsoka. Like Nick said, that's already in the slate. We're getting that. Mando, I'm excited for, but I think right now, not even just Disney, but Hollywood in general has this problem of taking an IP with source material and going, oh, we're looking at the lore, or we're doing this, and doing nothing with it except by name. And I mean, I hate to get into this, Rings of Power is nothing but Lord of the Rings, but except the name. Not even close. Like, you got Middle Earth, and you have Rings of Power in it. Cool. Other than that, it's their story.
They milk it until it's a dead, dry corpse,
Yep.
and they do not. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well,
You mean like The Walking Dead?
Came out. I've watched reviews on that. I'm not gonna watch it, but it's apparently they're like, oh yeah, it's all the lore. Everybody's read the books and played the games is saying it's nothing but the name, and that's why I'm saying don't touch Old Republic right now. Let them get all this stuff out of their system in the entirety of Hollywood, where they just want to keep rebooting. They did it to Halo. They did it to all these IPs that we love. Just if you're gonna make Star Wars, let Disney just make their own stuff, and then
They did do it to Halo.
Oh, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
Halo
don't get started.
I love Star Wars, so jeez, because the source material again was there. You could have just made.
There is no source material.
Like,
There's no source material. All right, John. What about you, buddy?
I think at some point, and I'm hopeful with this. I mean, Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company. They took on Star Wars, took a big swing that they can put their own agenda in. Obviously not working, but at the end of the day, they have to make money. So at some point, it's got to switch. Yeah. I would think. I mean, at the end of the day, Robert Meyer, he's right. It's all about money for a corporation. It's got to switch. And then Iger coming back, man, I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point.
Shouldn't you think it should be true that the good story should be told and the money follows?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
If I could add on to that real fast, I think if we have the right people behind it, who say I give you the Bane trilogy of books, and you're actually a huge fan of those books, and you're going to do that exact story, it's going to make you a ton of money. People are going to love it. But it's just the problem that for whatever reason, these higher-ups aren't getting people that want to do that.
Because, I mean,
they're usually influenced by the studio. But
yeah. I mean, like the directors, I mean, they want to make money. At some point, it's got to turn.
Yeah,
I would think
that may be 5 years from now. We never know.
Yeah.
The Melvor for 5 says, "Gentlemen, love the chat tonight. Big up,
Hail the Melvor.
Thank you, Melvor.
Hail,
which the Melvor, they actually just came out with a new Toy Chasers episode today. I watched that was good.
Didn't I tell you not to donate to this channel? You know what happens when you do, right?
Thank you.
Stop killing kids. Do not donate to this channel. Thank you, Melvor. I appreciate it so much. Dat Boy Steve, let's get some closing thoughts, and then I'm going to send it off with a nice message.
Honestly, I think they're better off sticking to something new, because if they make something based off any legend story, it's going to be very critiqued
heavily.
Heavily.
So in using Andor as an example, not a lot of people expected that, and from what I'm hearing, a lot of people kind of liked it. So I mean, they have a 50-50 chance. I mean, from what I'm hearing, most people didn't like Book of Boba and Kenobi, but they liked Andor, so they kind of have a 50-50 to trying something new. I think if they tried to do a one-to-one legend story, it's going to be very critiqued, and they're just going to get a lot of hate for that.
Yeah, that's a good take. I think you're I think you're basically on the right track there. I mean, the bottom line is, okay, hold on. I gotta say goodbye. I gotta say goodbye to the stream here. Thank you everybody for being here. It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes, actually 2 hours, 29 minutes and 5 seconds. This is, I think, the longest stream I've ever done on my channel. I want to thank everybody who's been here tonight. It's been very long. It's been like at least 50 or 40 people here for the entirety of the stream. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here on a Thursday of all days. This is not usually the day that I stream. This has been an awesome stream for me. I really, really enjoy this kind of conversation where we can kind of dissect what's important about Star Wars to each of us. So thank you for being here. I will raise a quick toast. Ugh. Today we're doing a Templeton Rye 4-year. Might have been a little bit too much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful night. Remember that the Force will be with you always, and do not forget what brought us here. We're all about Star Wars, baby. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. May the Force be with you. Please catch us tomorrow for a late night stream. You know that my brother and I, Risman, are going to be bringing some heat tomorrow. So be there for that. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. May the Force be with you. Never forget what Star Wars meant to you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Have a beautiful night.